never come clean. Every headline feels like one more scam. Whole damn system built on sleight of hand. We've been patient, boiling over, tired eyes, late nights, fighting sober. Every story points the same way. Every road sign says somebody pays. True Crime Cafe, we're seeking truth. Day goes want answers, we're coming for you. Crooked as hell and you're laughing our face. Darkness covered crimes, we light up this place. All we want is justice, that's the only ask. Dago and the cafe, built for this task. Let's get to it. Shut it down fast, shut it down fast, shut it down fast. Shut it down fast, yeah! Backroom whispers, paper trails gone cold. Kids grow older, carrying what they're told. Questions piling like cups in the sink. Every dirty deed closer than you think. Dishonest and backwards, twist every word. But we've got the screenshots we've already heard. You can bury the proof, but you can't hide the past. We're knocking on doors, coming in late. True Crime Cafe, we're seeking truth. Dagos want answers, we're coming for you. Crooked as hell and you're laughing our face. Darkness covered crimes, we light up this place. All we want is justice, that's the only ask. Dago and the cafe, built for this task. Let's get to it, let's get to it. Shut it down fast, shut it down fast.
Yeah, yeah, roll call missing. They go to sauce boss, clock on the wall, still ticking. Blue crew posted in the bag, a whole room. Listen. True crime cafe, coffee, black eyes, red files on the table, cold cases, cold dread, seeking the truth. Ink stains on his hand, pics on the cardboard, string lines, map land, busting these cases, long nights, tight grind. Everything will be fine. He repeat that line. Blue crew backs him, keep him on track. One step from the edge, they pulling them back. True Crime Cafe, when they go to softball, seeking the truth, pay the real cost. Gotta find answers, gotta make time, busting these cases, walking that line. True Crime Cafe, when they go to softball, hoping he can answer just a few. Yo, True Crime Cafe, when they go to softball, say it with your chest. This the true talk, solving the bullshit, lies in the booth, paper plates, cheap meals, chasing down proof, praying real quiet, hands on his face, fighting for the next meal. In another cold case, street talk, tip line, voices on mute, he dig through the dirt, searching for a root, true justice, distant, like it changed address, but he still take notes, never half step. True Crime Cafe, when they go to softball, seeking the truth, pay the real cost, gotta find answers, gotta make time, busting these cases, walking that line. True Crime Cafe, when they go to softball, seeking he can answer just a few talk. True Crime Cafe, when they go to softball, say it with your chest, it's the truth talk. They go the sauce boss. Clock on the wall, still ticking. Blue crew posted in the bag. A whole room. Listen. True crime cafe, coffee, black eyes, red files on the table, cold cases, cold dread, seeking the truth. Ink stains on his hand, pics on the cardboard, string lines, map land, busting these cases, long nights, tight grind. Everything will be fine. He repeat that line. Blue crew backs him, keep him on track. One step from the edge, they pulling them back. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, seeking the truth, pay the real cost. Gotta find answers, gotta make time, busting these cases, walking that line. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, hoping he can answer just a few. Yo, true crime cafe, when they go to softball, say it with your chest. This the true talk, solving the bullshit, lies in the booth, paper plates, cheap meals, chasing down proof, praying real quiet, hands on his face, fighting for the next meal. In another cold case, street talk, tip line, voices on mute, he dig through the dirt, searching for a root, true justice, distant, like it changed address, but he still take notes, never half step. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, seeking the truth, pay the real cost, gotta find answers, gotta make time, busting these cases, walking that line. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, thinking he can answer just a few talk. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, say it with your chest, it's the truth talk. True talk. Yeah, roll call, listen. They go to
Coffee's bitter, like the names on the screen. Faces flicker, but they never come clean. Every headline feels like one more scam. Whole damn system built on sleight of hand. We've been patient, boiling over, tired eyes, late nights, fighting sober. Every story points the same way. Every road sign says somebody pays. True crime cafe, we're seeking truth. Dago's want answers, we're coming for you. Crooked as hell and you're laughing our face. Darkness covered crimes, we light up this place. All we want is justice, that's the only ask. Dago in the cafe, built for this task. Let's get to it. Shut it down fast, shut it down fast, shut it down fast. Shut it down fast, yeah! Backroom whispers, paper trails gone cold. Kids grow older, carrying what they're told. Questions piling like cups in the sink. Every dirty deed closer than you think. Dishonest and backwards, twist every word. But we've got the screenshots we've already heard. You can bury the proof, but you can't hide the past. We're knocking on doors, coming in late. True crime cafe, we're seeking truth. Dagos want answers, we're coming for you. Crooked as hell and you're laughing our face. Darkness covered crimes, we light up this place. All we want is justice, that's the only ask. Dago and the cafe, built for this task. Let's get to it, let's get to it. Shut it down fast, shut it down fast.
And that's the point. Let me get let's get this started, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm having some technical issues. Thank you for being here. Let's get to it.
Flicker like broken halos. Whispers gather in the smoke-filled air. Tables carved with secrets and shadows. Every story's a wound laid bare. The kettle's boiling with a restless rage. Justice written on an unseen page. I sip the silence, bitter taste, waiting for the ghosts to show their face. At the True Crime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betray. Cracked reflections are liars. Ashes fall where the guilty once stood. The jukebox hums like a funeral choir. Echoes pounding through the neighborhood. Every scar is a candlelit vow. We hug the how, we demand the now. No more silence, no more disguise. We'll paint the night with sharpened cry. At the True Crime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betray. It's a battlefield hymn, a requiem dripping from the bottle's rim. The guilty write stories in invisible ink, but we'll drag it all up from the edge of the brave. At the True Crime Cafe, shadow will pay in the True Crime Cafe.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, governors. How are you? Welcome back, everybody. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us, and happy Monday, folks. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Congrats to any Seahawks fans. They did it. They did it. Thank God the Patriots didn't. Super great. Super great thing. I'm super excited. We're all you Seahawks fans out there, very awesome stuff. Thank you guys for joining us last night over at for those of you that did, over at Devil's Advocates. I appreciate that very much. It's a great show as always, and just great stuff, guys. It's great to be here with you guys. Thank you to my moderators, of course. Thank you to Miss Molly, my videographer, my executive producer, Last 24, Mike on a mic. Thank you to them and all of my moderators for doing what you guys do and being here day after day. I do appreciate each and every one of you so very much. And welcome everybody else. Speaking of, it looks like, good golly, Miss Molly's in the house as we speak. Welcome to you, SRBB. Cat K, Buffalo Chick, welcome back. Emma McDonald, welcome. Ginger Hay, hey, good to see you. Gemini 33 NAC, welcome. Let's see, just visiting, welcome back to you. Thrive Upgrade, great to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Beach Babes in the house, welcome. Let me see here. Miss Cat K, Beach Babes. Sleuther 75's in the house, welcome back, Sleuther. And again, guys, let me catch you guys all up. Witchy was, Witchy is, Witchy here. Trish Crow, welcome back to you. Come on in, everybody, if you will. Let me see. Sorry about the chipmunk stuff. I don't know why. I got to get my microphone changed out. Something's going on with it. Sleuthy Kitty, welcome to you. Mad Dog 5000, you as well. False Star, welcome back. Good to see you all. FB the Cook, what is going on? Good to see you. Tilted Halo Detective in the house. Good to see you. Lisa Winchester, welcome back. Good afternoon to you all. And thank you guys for joining us. Miss Paula, the positive ones in the house. Good to see you, Miss Paula. Still cold here, guys. Still cold. I hope you're staying warm. Espum 88, welcome to you. Wonderful seeing all the new faces in the house. Dylan Hildreth in the house. Miss Teresa, good to see you. Let's see. Mary Casey, welcome to you. Great to see you. Heidi Smith back in the house today. No worries. Thank you for being here, FB. Jacqueline Keeley, good to see you. Is it still... Do I still sound chipmunky? Ice Empress, welcome to you. Looks like we got 60 peeps in the house, 36 likes, guys. Please make sure to hit that like button if you will. Cynthia Rose, welcome back. Oh. Well, I hope he's okay, SRB. Yeah, it's been cold here too. That'll be like a heat wave, the way it's been, considering the way it's been, yes. Excuse me. Senor Wazowski's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to see you, my friend. I think I got everybody that was here. There is a George Stewart. Good to see you. They go, what do you think about us doing a Creators of the Year awards between all other people who do sometimes argue but do love each other? Laugh out loud. Just a thought. Do poll just for fans. Do a poll. I mean, we could do something like that. I'll put up a poll for it. George, I'll write it down. What is up, Mr. Hildreth? How are you, sir?
Oh, just still trying to wipe away all the tears from last night. I know you wouldn't know what that feels like to be in the Super Bowl, but you know.
Good morning, Dylan. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah. Do you need me to contact authorities for you have something stuck to your head? I don't know if you knew that or not, but just saying. I can handle the t-shirt, the hat. I just can't go with you, buddy. Can't do it. Go Hawks, go Hawks, go Hawks. It was kind of a boring game, what I got to see of it, because it was so close. Like nobody was doing anything. I think I'll take it though, because I hate the Patriots. I'm sorry, bro. I love you to death, buddy, but I can't handle them. They've been there too many times. They didn't need to go again, in my opinion.
The left tackle for the Patriots, he's a rookie, and he got absolutely mauled.
I heard that. Yeah.
He got put through the spin cycle so bad, like, oh my god, it was just like, yep. I actually turned it off as soon as the Seahawks finally broke through and scored a touchdown, just because it was like, well, that's over. That's over. I'm going back to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was all field goal. They should have called it the field goal bowl, because that's what it was for the most part.
I'm surprised the kicker didn't get the Super Bowl MVP.
I agree with you on that one. Miss Cassie, the sassy one, what's going on? Good to see you, Cass. False Star, Living Dead Girl, good to see you. Miss Rowe. Well, here's the thing, guys. My Browns ain't been there since before there was even a Super Bowl. So Christy's in the house. There's our Miss Christy, guys. Make sure we drop these links if we can, especially for Miss Christy. She's been putting in a lot of hard work on her channel lately, guys. So please, if you will, make sure you go over there, show some love and support her. Donnie Riesling, good to see you. PsyOp, huh? Yeah, you think that's what it was? Just saying. I don't know. You never know, bud. You never know. All right, guys. So what do you think, Dylan? Have you followed anything with this Nancy Guthrie thing at all?
I have been doing some research on it, getting ready to do my own video on it. I was going to do it last night, but it was too late, and I started yawning. So,
cool. So you got some info to give me, or some input then?
So,
yes.
There's a little bit of that I know. I'm more in tune than when you usually pull a case up. But anyway.
Hey, Dozy.
By the way it looks, the sheriff completely and totally botched this whole thing. Like,
oh yeah, there's a definite botching here for sure.
Oh, he told Moscow, hold my beer.
That's kind of what it slightly resembled to me, yes. And the other night when they're out doing this and doing that, he's at a basketball game. I was like, whoa, buddy. Well, you're gonna get some chasm for that stuff there, you know?
I would be curious with that. I would be curious to know if he's got like kids that might be a part of one of the programs, or what the situation is. If not, and he was just going for funsies, then
something was off with that one, bud. I was very surprised to see that. I was like, oh, buddy, you're going to be getting cut down over this one.
And quite frankly, if I was the sheriff, and unless my kids were a part of the program, then that's completely different. But if I'm just going there to watch a game, and granted, if I already had it planned, even if I still had it planned, I'd be like, nope, I'm not going to this. I ain't dealing with this kind of media backlash. Nope. I got enough on my plate. Plus, I wouldn't have screwed this up to Kingdom Come.
I agree.
At this point.
Like, where do you think he screwed up at to start with? Let's go there first.
He released the scene within what, 24 hours?
Yeah, good point.
I mean, so you have obvious signs of struggle. I don't know exactly when they discovered that the Ring cameras were messed with, but I would assume by the time they released it, he would have they would have known that the cameras were messed with. You have obvious signs of a struggle. You have blood on the scene, and you're this isn't like a oops, my bad situation,
right? Welcome, Jackie.
Because not only does this essentially compromise the scene, but it's going to make it so much harder for the people who committed this to actually get a conviction. Yeah, I agree. That's very good point, sir. Very good point. Welcome everybody. Matt Amlo, good to see you. Yeah, there's some very strange things in it. I've been
kind of mostly, the first time I've covered it is today here. I've been planning on it, and I just wanted to see what happened over the weekend. Today is deadline day number 2. I believe it's 5 p.m. today. We already passed. That's a whole weird thing in itself that they had a deadline Thursday by 5 p.m. Obviously, things didn't go down as the abductors wanted, I'm going to guess. And then they said, well, you know what? We got plans over the weekend. We got to watch the Super Bowl. So your next deadline is Monday, which makes no sense. And I said it that way so sarcastically because it's so stupid to me. I've never seen in any kind of an abduction case of any sort where they're going to give you a deadline and say, we can't do it over the weekend. I mean, it's so weird to me, but, so be it. I don't know.
Maybe they were Seahawks fans.
I'm just saying, like, it's what it seems like. Like, we got the Super Bowl this weekend. We can't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? It's insane. I feel so bad for this family. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Some of the family. I feel bad for Savannah. I'll be truly. I was never a big Savannah Guthrie fan, but I feel bad for her because, in my opinion, I have some feelings about her sister and her sister's husband. We'll get into that.
I have heard that. I haven't gone deep enough into where we have potential suspects. I haven't gone that far yet, but I have heard like the sister and the in-law are, at least in the eyes of the media, persons of interest.
Well, I mean, it's odd, Dylan. It's weird how this all went down. I have questions, many questions. Okay. I have a bad feeling about this. And I don't like to say things like this, guys, because I don't like to jinx things, but I have a bad feeling there's it's probable that Nancy may no longer be with us. And we're going to review that too, that last, message that came from Savannah and her family. And we're going to break that down. We're going to talk about that. And a lot of people are saying that by the way it sounds is that they're kind of asking to get her body back. So is that what it is? Or is she truly saying, because she makes a statement in there about we need our mom back so we can celebrate her or with her. Does it mean celebrate her return or celebrate like a celebration of life with her? Because that's what happens when people pass away sometimes. So I don't know. I had to rewatch that I think it was Instagram that she initially put it out, but I don't know. I have a lot of questions with this, which is why partially why we're covering it. But I was just kind of waiting to see what happened over the weekend, and then was going to go from there. And here we are on Monday, so here we're doing it. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Bud? What I just said there? Or?
I will say there's a few things that are dependent on whether she's alive or not. Obviously, the motive of the kidnappers, is it for money? Then she may very well still be alive,
right?
Because you'll set that first deadline knowing that they're not going to do it. They haven't had that fear of God put into them, and then you come back. All right, we're not playing around anymore. Pay by this date, or it's not going to go well.
Sure.
The other thing that is dependent is how well planned were the kidnappers on being able to keep her alive. She, from my understanding, she's got a pacemaker. She's got to take medicine daily in order to survive.
Yes.
Now, I'm not 173 years old like you are, Dago, so I don't know how long you can go without taking daily medicine. But
I would imagine that long.
I would imagine though. I would imagine though, going a week without absolutely need medicine daily.
Well, yeah, especially if you have heart issues. I don't know what other medical problems Nancy has, but I know she has a heart issue for sure because she has a pacemaker. So there could be many other things. She could be on blood thinner. She could be on this, that. And I kind of wondered that when I saw the blood on the front stoop because of the way the blood looked. You know what I mean? So I wondered, she could be on multiple things for different things. She could be Duck and Dakota in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. In the current picture on Fox News homepage, why does Savannah G have 6 fingers on her right hand? Whoa! That must mean that they are doing AI. Good to see you, Docket. Been a minute, bro. I hope you're doing well. That's probably because it's AI in my opinion. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you're saying. The medication thing is a big serious worry. Welcome, Doc Terry. All you guys jumping in here. It's great to see you. I didn't notice that, bud. That's wild. It's got to be AI. You guys know how that works. So I'm gonna run a poll. Jeremy Pearson, good to see you. Go ahead, bud.
For Docket Decoder, is it the picture that has the headline "Retired FBI Agent Reveals World Savannah Guthrie used in photo"? That stood out to me immediately.
Gotcha. Design Rhythm, welcome. Whit James, good to see you. Oh, somebody said she doesn't have 6 fingers. She's holding Annie's hand. That's something else we're going to talk about too, about the body language. First and foremost, because I'm going to start that, we're going to do a few polls with this today. Is Nancy Guthrie's abduction a hoax? I've seen channels covering it like this. Yes, no, and unknown. I'm just going to make it simple for you guys, but we're going to run that one first. I saw a channel say they believe it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. That I don't believe. I don't believe that. I'll give you guys right up front in the front of this. I don't believe that it's a hoax. Do I believe that it has been staged to some aspect? I kind of do. Do I think Savannah Guthrie's involved? I don't. Sluter loves a good poll. I don't think Savannah is. Only, and here's why. I'll tell you guys why. Savannah really seems to be very close to her mother, and she seems to be emotionally distraught over this. Now, Annie, in my opinion, doesn't seem to give me that vibe, and neither does Tomato, as I'll call him. And the brother, Cameron, I think his name is, he's definitely, his appearance seems to be not as emotional, but that doesn't mean anything. So I don't know. Megastars in the house. Good to see you, Miss Meg. So I don't know what to think. You know, I'm not going to blatantly say I think Annie and Tomato have done something. I'm going to say I have some questions, okay? Because I've been watching and seeing so many different things. It's crazy, you guys. Of course, you know they're going to go directions with this that you don't know, but I truly believe that the family is reeling from this, okay? Now, I will say that, you know, people automatically jumped all over Annie's husband because they towed his car, did this, did that. Well, guys, according to the story, he was the last person to see her. He took her home from their dinner that they had together. So, of course, they're going to check his car. Welcome, Sherry. Good to see you. Questions are being put out there that I've seen. Like, people think, for instance, that maybe Nancy never even made it home, that he never dropped her off. Or I've also seen it put out there that he went to drop her off at home. Something happened that was bad, and he had to react and panicked, and something went down. I don't know any of this stuff. We don't. Okay, these are just all the theories that I'm seeing out there. So
just going off the evidence alone, I think there's enough evidence to pretty confidently say that she made it home that night.
And that's what I think too. I do, because of the blood, for one. Okay,
the blood, the phone, the watch.
The phone, the watch. The garage door supposedly opened for like 2 minutes and then closed. And I think the neighborhood kind of probably could see some things. You know, I'm not saying they did for sure, but I would imagine. I've seen people say they've heard that somebody, that blood looks like somebody was shot. We were talking in here yesterday about it with the mods and stuff, and everybody has different opinions. Nobody in here said that, but I saw it on another channel. I can't remember where, that they believe that. I don't think that's what it is. I could be wrong, but that's just not my feelings. But there's a lot of different things going on with this. Welcome, Angie B. Good to see you, Ange. Thanks for being here. But I don't think that Savannah had anything to do with this, you guys. Not at all. I don't know. I don't get any kind of a weird vibe other than sadness from her. Truly, it's sad. And I don't know why I get a little bit of a different vibe from Annie. I have a horrible vibe from her husband. I don't know if that's just me personally. I'm not saying they did anything, but and Cameron seemed very withdrawn. And I'm not saying again, I don't think Cameron had anything to do with anything either. It's just there's a weird vibe coming from the sister.
I will
go ahead. Sorry.
I will say the way that the Ring camera was tampered with.
Yeah.
It does point to an inside job. Someone would have had to have access to the Ring account to be able to wipe wipe that footage.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, so, hey, Kim's here.
So I would definitely be starting with the family, and just kind of going off vibes. Obviously, you're not going to spend that much time on Savannah because she actually looks distraught.
I agree with you. I do.
And then, but yeah, with sister and son-in-law, yeah. Well, obviously, we'll have to know the family, the actual family dynamic of that.
And that's part of the problem. We don't really know. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome, Miss Christie, Miss Kim. Typically uniques in the house. Great show, Kim. Sorry I couldn't stick around longer. I had to jump over here. Thank you for joining us. By the way, Kim, I left you a link if you want in the Discord to join me. I'd always love to hear your input on, especially on this case for some reason. But yeah, keep going, Dylan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just trying to say hello to everybody.
But yeah, it was just see, kind of get a feel of what the family dynamic is, because this at minimum started in the circle. At minimum, it started
within the family circle. You think
somebody who had access to the Ring cam?
That's a good point.
Now, you could also dispel that by getting the phone data. Was the Ring camera accessed at all that night, or the Ring app, or is it something that she just doesn't have the Ring app on her phone because old people in technology, as we see with you every time we have technological issues?
Swear to God.
It was too easy. So it could just be something that the family the daughters have on their phones, so they can kind of keep an eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
So does she even have the Ring app on her phone? So
I think there was talked about that they weren't subscribed to it or something, and that's why there's really no video or something like that to it. So I don't know, but that's
well, the thing is that it would date back to 24 hours on the free version, I believe.
I thought there was. I think Kim said something about that the other day on her channel about it, and I was like, oh wow, okay. See, I don't know nothing about it. I don't have one yet, but I'm working on it. What's up, Virginia Wolf? I don't know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. And I heard Kim said on her channel, she was live over there a little bit ago, said that there was supposed to be a press conference. I've been looking for this. I don't see it anywhere. Seema Turner, welcome. Good to see you. Dylan, Savannah is also a trained MSM talking head. In essence, those people have a huge range of acted emotion when they need to, not saying she is just saying her daily job. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. It is.
There is a level of acting, but the thing is, there is a different skill set between actor and newscaster.
And I think when it comes to something like this, you kind of detach from that. In my opinion, I don't know, actor or not, how well you would be able to act through something like that. That's just my opinion, though. You know what I mean?
That and Savannah has absolutely nothing to gain from this.
Nothing.
She is already hosting a nationally syndicated television show.
Yeah.
And
yeah, no, I mean, that's the biggest point. I'm glad you said that. That's what I was going to say. Savannah Guthrie has nothing to gain from doing something like this. Absolutely nothing at all. And I said the other day, I was talking, and with what we do, this is a true crime channel. We break down crime. Okay, we talk about crimes that go on and things involving crime. So when you look at a situation like this, you have to kind of look at who would have something to gain from this. You know, oh, Miss Lucy's here. Good to see you, dear. The report about not having an active subscription, try that again, specifically referencing what the user would be able to access. It is not about what is back-end accessible. I don't know what that means, but
So
I think I get what you're saying, Lucy.
So yeah, pretty much Ring would be able to go back and pull it up, the company itself.
I would think, yeah. And with the FBI being the lead on this, because I'm pretty sure that's what I understand, they are the lead. They should be able to get anything they want on it. That's my opinion, of course. Now, if it erases it, don't they still have back files that are archived from stuff like that they can just pull? I would think.
I would imagine at minimum they would have.
What the hell?
You'd be able to easily access the last 24 hours.
Right. That's my thought. What the hell is this guy wearing on his head?
Looks like it looks like a bike helmet with like a bill.
A sun visor. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. And was it weird people around here? Okay. Anyway,
It's Arizona.
Okay. See, Lucy said nothing's deleted ever. Well, there you go. There's the answer, and that is what I was wondering. I would think. Welcome, Miss Girl. So I wondered because Savannah does do what she does. Okay, I don't know anything about Cameron, the brother. So I can't speak to him, but I'm guessing because my understanding was that the dinner game night thing is like a regular thing that they do. So it made me wonder if Annie and Tomato are like main caregivers of Nancy. They're constantly going over and helping her with things, doing stuff like this with her and that. You know what I'm saying? If that's because Savannah is always busy doing her job, being in New York, doing this, doing that. She was supposed to go to the Olympics. We know she didn't because of this, but she's busy. So I wondered if my phone was going to ring because it always does when I go live, because that's what happens here. 1 minute, everybody. My apologies.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something like kind of it like I think where Dago was alluding to, it was just with the other daughter and the Anne, I think it's Anne and Tomato, the primary caregivers. They're the ones over there all the time, taking care of her, filling the prescriptions, doing this, doing that, and it could have been. Who knows? I mean, it just very, very strange. And also, Docket Decoder, if you're still in here, I got it up, and I don't see that extra finger on Savannah. So, but without a doubt, somebody who has access to the ring had to have gone in and deleted the footage. Could very well be Ann and Tomato, whoever, the in-law. We need to start a pool and place bets on how long to go live Dago's phone rings. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. So, Tommaso. But why wasn't the Amazon package not mentioned till now? If there was one, I don't know. Was there an Amazon package? I didn't see that. So, man. But
Mrs. Dago says sorry and thank you all for supporting us and hello. So sorry about that. Go ahead, bud.
I was just kind of filling time.
Oh no. So I can't seem to find isn't there supposed to be a presser this morning?
I haven't been looking at any of the
I don't see it
mainstream
anywhere.
stuff.
Yeah, that tomato dude does remind me of Stephen Stearns. That is 100% truth. I agree with you on that one, Josie. Welcome everybody that's jumped in. Appreciate you guys very much. So the first thing I want to review with you guys, okay, is this last statement that was made. It's very interesting to me. And first and foremost, though, I think we need to 1 minute, check our poll and see where that is. I am really curious what your guys' thoughts were on that. Let's see. End it now, and let's see what we got.
Yes, it did, Cook. The phone rang.
It always does. Never failed.
Yeah.
Nancy Guthrie's abduction a hoax. And I'm only asking this because I've seen a lot of people say this. I don't obviously believe that it's a hoax. It's obviously real. The woman's missing, so on and so forth. But I think the question of hoax is it a true abduction, true to form abduction, or is there something malicious going on within the family circle or something, is what I think the answer to that truly would be. And I have 36% said no, 35% said unknown, and 29% said yes. So it's kind of almost an even split, which is interesting because it's very hard to kind of answer that without, like you said, knowing a true family dynamic, because we really don't.
And it could be something as sibling jealousy, and okay, I'm going to show you that you're not untouchable.
Well, thank you. That's what I was going to say. I almost got my phone rang. If let's say, for instance, that Annie and I don't even know how to say his real name. That's why I call him Tomato, but Tommaso or whatever it is. Okay. Let's say that they are like mostly the caregivers because Savannah's always busy with work and life and stuff. Sometimes people get tired of being that person. You know, they may not make the money that Savannah makes. They may be the ones that are always there with Nancy, for Nancy, to do things for Nancy, and Savannah's not.
Exactly what I said.
Right. So it makes you wonder, like some people, sometimes they crack, they get tired of it. They think they deserve more subs. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So it makes you wonder. And that's where my thought with them came into play. So but I don't know. I don't know, 100% I don't know.
I almost feel like you would have had would have had a quicker. If you did it this way, there would have been a much quicker disintegration.
You think?
Unless Savannah's just that far out of the loop. Because I mean, she's going here or there. She's doing everything all around the planet.
She's very busy. Yeah.
So
very important person.
So she just may not know if there is any contentment.
Right. And something I'll mention to you guys that I thought was interesting is the third note that they got, the third message that they got was actually addressed directly to Savannah, and it said, "Dear Savannah." That's an interesting point to this, okay? It wasn't to whom it may concern. It wasn't dear family. It wasn't, dear Cameron, Savannah, and Annie. It was dear Savannah. And I've always thought from the beginning of this that the basis of this was in relation to Savannah, in my opinion, because she's the one that has the money. Okay. I'm not saying none of them have money, but I think she probably has the most because of who she is. But to say dear Savannah directly is interesting. And also saying dear Savannah is kind of, it's not, how can I say this? It doesn't sound malicious, for lack of a better way to put it. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound angry or mean or malicious. It's dear Savannah. Makes you wonder. You know what I mean? It is odd how it's worded. So yes, I did notice. I saw welcome painted. that Savannah and Michael Feldman, her husband, were named in the Epstein files. I do know and realize that was talked about the other day too. The sister and her husband just bought their home $650,000 last summer. Yeah, I saw that too. It's very interesting. And that's what I was wondering too, Donna. Was that written by a man or a woman, guys? If you look at statistics on how people write things or say things, it's kind of crazy.
If it's handwritten, we'll know if it's male or female. But
yeah, and here's the thing. I think go ahead.
If someone's dumb enough to handwrite a ransom note, then we got bigger issues in Arizona.
So Lucy said something I was getting ready to go to next. It makes me wonder if this person has a connection to Savannah herself, whether it's real or in their own mind. What I mean by that, dear Savannah, this is either somebody she actually truly knows or somebody that wants to believe that her and this person are close. Maybe a crazed fan, stalker type person that in their mind thinks that they're important in Savannah's life. Do you know what I mean? That's what Lucy, I think, is saying with her statement here. That's something I wondered too. And as soon as I heard Dear Savannah, because there's people out there that are like crazy stalker people that will do that kind of shit, period. So just saying. So let's check this out again. And here's the thing that got my attention is right here. This is what bothered me the most through this whole thing is the way Annie acts. And if you look, Cameron and Savannah are holding hands. And I think Annie's arm is underneath Savannah's arm. And they're all three touching. But, Annie closes her eyes. She's kind of, I don't know if that's because she's detaching from it or if she's thinking out of worry, where's mom? I'm so sad. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. There's a whole psychological thing with this, obviously. All right, guys.
Message, and we understand. We beg you now. We received your message, and we understand.
So that part right there. We received your message, and we understand. This is why I said, and I wondered if this was them telling them, Dear Savannah, or whatever, just the message that they sent said, we hate to tell you this, but your mother has since passed. It's not what we meant to happen, blah, 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 so on and so forth. We would still like to work something out with you to be able to get her back to you, or you know what I mean? It's something along those lines is what I'm curious about. I'd love to know exactly what it says. Obviously, we're not going to. Thank you, Meg. But it makes you wonder because of the way they're responding to this.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
And that's why I think everybody thinks it. We received your message and we understand. And then she goes almost to like a different level and says, we beg you now, maybe because of what was said, to return our mother. Meaning, exactly, Doc. Like, okay, now we got your message. We understand what happened. Now we beg you now to please return our mother so that we can celebrate with her. Celebration of life, typically a funeral or whatever it is, so on and so forth. The only problem with that, you guys, is they don't seem as distraught as I would imagine you would be talking about something like that. Does that make sense, Dylan?
Yeah, I do. I do get that part, which leads me to believe that they still believe that she's alive, which makes which makes the wording very strange.
Very, very much so. So you could take this either way. You could take it the way I think it could be, or like what Dylan just said, that they believe that she's still alive. But when she says what she says, if you watch, that's when Annie closes her eyes. Now, is that because she's stressed out and she doesn't want to think about it, so she closes her eyes? Or is it because she's trying to detach from the situation and not be a part of something that's nefarious or something? It could go either way. But at that point, they all have their eyes closed there. So anyway, I'll play it again.
The only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. We received your message.
This is very valuable to us.
Right.
Is
That's
that
what I'm trying to understand.
because like if you're talking about somebody, you would use like he, she is very valuable to us.
Right. Right.
This it's like they're trying to burn both ends of the stick apparently, because
Maybe.
because by the way they're looking, they got the look of they're trying to come to terms with it. Part of that is she might be alive, and then this, and even in passing, you'd still use a pronoun though.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it kind of feels like they think she's gone, but at the same time, it almost doesn't. You know what I mean? The whole we understand, and we need her return to us now so we can celebrate with her. That's where I'm struggling with that. The whole thing right there, and watching Annie's response. Cameron doesn't make any kind of like emotional response to anything in any of these that they've done, so it's hard to read him. And I have a bad feeling about this in my stomach. I truly do.
Now I will say the guys in this particular situation are going to be tougher to read because
Of course.
they're going to naturally put up a front to look to kind of try to be stoic and not look like he's about to lose his crap.
Right. Hey, Tandy, good to see you. Congrats on the win again. And here's the thing is the two deadlines, okay? The Thursday deadline passed. We know that already. And then today's deadline, they said today, if I remember correctly, they said today's deadline is more consequential than Thursday's was. So made me wonder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it depends on how well planned this was,
right,
and what the true intentions are.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It does. It truly does.
And we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
See, we received your message and we understand. We beg you now, so that to return our mother to us so we can celebrate with her. And this would be very valuable to us. It's hard to read this, and I could feel it keeps taking me to the direction that I said first, folks, that maybe that Nancy has passed and they want her back so that they can have a funeral and all that stuff. I don't want to believe that, but it sounds like they're reaching out and saying, okay, we understand what happened, but we need closure now. So please return our mother to us. And that's how I keep feeling for this. I don't want to. I want to hope that it's not true, but seeing the blood, knowing that Nancy had health problems, the pacemaker issue, the medication things, welcome Double M's in the house. Good to see you, Mayhem and Miracles. All of that stuff, it keeps making me wonder. Okay. Now, something else I had talked about before too, is if I don't know how intelligent the kidnappers are, things like that. And I almost, and I hate to be morbid, folks, but I wondered if any of the blood that we saw, okay, if some people are not very smart and may be worried about the pacemaker thing, thinking that she could be tracked with that and maybe tried to remove it from her. Okay. I almost wondered that, if that was plausible, because I know my aunt has one and it's very close to the surface of her skin, like to the point where you can actually see it and feel it. So I didn't know if maybe that was something they tried, which could have been where the blood came from. And if she's on blood thinners, she could have bled a lot, things like that. I'm not saying that's what happened, you guys. It's just an afterthought as to a possibility, possibly. So Lucy is saying, let's see, what are you guys all saying over here?
I almost feel like if you were trying to take the pacemaker out, there would have been, from my understanding, it was just a couple drops of blood with no tail or anything like that. To my understanding,
it wasn't a whole lot of blood, but if you had it maybe packed with something and it was leaking through that, I would imagine little drips here and there. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. Like I said, it's just a thought. It's not something I truly like. I'm stuck on. You know what I mean? Whit name says she's very valuable to us. We can pay. Can be taken two ways to me, that they will pay for her body back to celebrate her life, or they will be paid by grieving her loss. Right. And that's what I was saying too. Good point, Whit. Go ahead, bud. You were going to say something maybe.
Well, I was also going to say it could have been something a lot more, I wouldn't say a lot more morbid, but disturbing, and leaving a finger or something like that to prove that.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks more like, because you would obviously pack it on your hand, so that would explain the blood drops.
Sure, and it could have been anything else too. Because if you look at my picture that I use as a thumbnail, and you look at her skin, she's 84.
Yeah,
bruises badly, and her, my mother has her skin starting to look that way too. It's very like paper thin and very. Like you could bump it and it'll tear and you'll bleed. And that could be where the blood came from. She could have just bumped the door and it could have caused that. You know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't have to be so very dramatic either. I'm just thinking of all options in my mind as to what could have happened or what could be going on with this, because it's so very weird. At first, when I saw the blood, I thought it was like mouth blood. Maybe her mouth was bleeding or her nose or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't know. This statement by them seemed a lot more final than the first one did. The first one seemed a lot more. I'm trying to think of the way to put this. Like
direct.
It was definitely direct, yes, but more along the lines of like there was more to look forward to. I guess I can't think of the right term. Welcome, Lions Den. Betsy Rod, Betsy Trog, Grandma Sleuth, Giddy Up, all you guys, welcome. Matt, good to see ya. Painted Desert, Lynn B, welcome everybody. Grateful to have you guys here today. Thank you for joining us. It was said, I would imagine she's probably on blood thinners, typically, well, not always if you're on a pacemaker, but if she's got a heart issue. What's up, 1-1? Good to see you, brother. That doesn't always mean you have to be on blood thinners, but I kind of would imagine that she would be. And there's a lot of odd things about this, which is what bothers me so much with this. Let's see here. And the thing is too that is very like kind of scary with this. We're on 8 days, right? I think this is day number 8, or is it 9?
This would be day 8.
8.
Monday would be the 8th day.
That's what I thought. Usually after 48 hours is where you have a lot. People start to lose hope in situations like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the sheriff didn't even do anything until day 3, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
So I would imagine, and we'll see how this case turns out, but I would be interested to see if there's some sort of lawsuit that they'd be able to levy on the sheriffs and whatnot, on just because of how poorly this was handled.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some issues after the fact, no matter what the outcome is. For sure, in my opinion. They may have, hey, Satire, good to see you. They may have missed the first deadline or didn't comply in time. The second message could be telling the kidnappers that they understand and they won't pay. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you on that, Satire. If Nancy has a pacemaker.
Correspondent Matt Finn. I am in beautiful and sunny Tucson, Arizona. Right now, I'm downtown at the moment. I was out at Nancy Guthrie's house all morning, also over at Annie Guthrie's house. If you have any questions, feel free to message us and we will answer them in this brief live stream. But over the weekend, there was a lot of activity here on the ground. Investigators returned to Nancy Guthrie's house a few times. They also notably went to the daughter's house, Annie Guthrie's house, and they did that Saturday evening. And our team saw detectives and investigators taking pictures on Annie Guthrie's property. It looked like they were inside of the garage and on the house. I am told that it is notable that the investigators were at Annie Guthrie's at nighttime, because apparently sometimes detectives do this to use black lights and stuff like that at night. So decent amount of activity over the weekend here. Also, our cameras caught a person or an investigator, poking a hole, probing what appeared to be like a manhole.
So that's another issue too that we watched. I think it was yesterday. They took off some manhole covers. They were checking. We talked about what it was, whether it was a well, rain cistern, septic stuff, all sorts of stuff. So that was something else that was interesting. And they've been back and forth between Nancy's house, Annie's house multiple times. I almost wondered too if it was because they were being told to go do things. There was at one point, JLR was showing it, and they had somebody had a metal detector out, like they were looking for something. I don't know. I don't know. Is Karmic in here? Welcome, Karmic. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you very much. Hope you are as well. I don't know, but that was interesting. Let me see what he's saying.
Peace, return our mother to us so we can celebrate. I'll give it a second. I think some people are interpreting that as a celebration of life. Others see it as, celebrate with our mother, so physically with her while she's still alive. It seems like we're kind of at this standstill, of course, until the deadline passes. Maybe there'll be another note, there'll be another update, or perhaps soon Nancy will be located. But right now we're kind of in this holding pattern. A question is, how do they want the Guthries to pay the ransom? Our understanding is, as TMZ has reported, TMZ has a new report actually out right now that says there was a Bitcoin wallet that was provided, I believe. And so that's how they're expecting that money. And so far, in about the past hour or so, TMZ reports that wallet does not have any deposits in it and has not had any transactions. So it's sitting empty. Now, we've had experts on our air. I've also just talked to a federal source who says Bitcoin in general is traceable. That's just the general summary I get, that it's not completely untraceable, which is contrary to what some people think. And then we also had an expert on our air on Outnumbered saying, look, even if someone deposits money into your Bitcoin wallet, you eventually have to enter your ID. I believe maybe let's just say your social security number or your residency, things of that nature, to withdraw that money. So it's really hard to do that clandestine.
All right, let's see what Brian's saying here.
Pretty quiet out here. They have private security that they've hired, that the Guthries have hired. So they basically just watch he's actually in that little car right there. They just watch the house all the time. And when the deputies came over the weekend to go inside the house and search and take pictures, they just let them through. We're learning, according to NBC, that search we saw here at Annie Guthrie's house when they were taking the pictures inside, and I saw the flashes, the deputies, that was consensual with the Guthrie family, which I'm not really surprised by, because it seemed kind of like there was no drama when they showed up. It seemed like they were expected. The security guard let them through, and they just went in the house on their own. So I kind of expected that. But besides that, it's been quiet out here. It's been quiet at Nancy's house this morning. I think there was like a sprinkler line that broke or something. So there was like some water shooting in the air, but it didn't seem like anything related to the case. So they have private security here, the Guthries do, and they also have private security at Nancy's house. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know why there's an echo, you guys. I'm sorry.
Today, today is that second deadline. I don't know the exact time. I didn't hear about an exact time. I just know the second deadline was today on Monday. So I'll be out here. I'll keep you guys posted, and I'm going to start kind of pounding the pavement and see what I can figure out today. All right, see you guys.
Okay, so that was Mr. Anton, and then back to, hold on, this here.
Eventually, push comes to shove, and you got to withdraw from that wallet, and that's when you have to at least enter some type of identity. So even if this $6 million is paid out, what happens once it sits in this Bitcoin wallet? If you have any other questions, let us know. Do investigators think she's still alive? I think there's that hope. That's how everybody is operating, because we don't have anything else to go off of right now, at least publicly. The family has been asking for the proof of life. That has not been publicly provided. Maybe the family has received something, but we have not received a proof of life, but we also have not received the opposite. So we'll see. I think everyone obviously understands the fact that this is an extremely, extremely precarious situation for an 84-year-old woman who needs medicine and is in constant pain. And here we are a week later. My heart and prayers go out to this family. Can you imagine? I mean, it's this beautiful sunny day in Tucson, Arizona. Savannah's supposed to be covering the Olympics, and they're here right now dealing with a missing elderly mother. I mean, it's hard to comprehend something much worse than this. So my prayers go out to Savannah Guthrie and her family. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. At what point is it considered a cold case? I don't.
Welcome, Doc. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. I do feel quite a bit better, and it's wonderful to be back to somewhat normal. So thank you guys very much for all the well wishes.
No, it's not cold right now because technically there's a deadline coming up, at 5 o'clock. So that's going to be a huge mile marker. Let's see what happens before and after that. Also, a lot of investigators on this case. We have seen FBI, local authorities all over, the area surrounding the two homes. So definitely not cold in that nature. How are they receiving the ransom notes? Great question. TMZ, I believe, has reported that they got it through an email. And then I believe the other local news stations here have also indicated that it was likely digital, so likely email. But I have not seen any of these notes myself. They're understandably being kept very private, so I can't confirm that. But that is my impression. I haven't heard anyone saying it was mailed in or delivered or something of that nature. And then I believe Harvey Levin has gone into detail saying how the email he received is untraceable. They use the sender uses technology that hides where it comes from, the email. How have they verified these ransom notes are real? They have not. No, we don't know that they're real. No one has come out to say they're real. And that's the great question here, I think, is number one, are they real? But are they linked to the disappearance? Meaning, is this the original captor who's now looking for their payout, or are these all just, fakes? Are they decoys? Are they fakes? Are they, mentally unstable people who are trying to get money or get attention? Don't forget there was a guy in Los Angeles who was arrested and federally charged for sending text messages to some members of the Guthrie family asking for Bitcoin. He figured out, I believe it was the sister Annie and her husband. He figured out their numbers, which is really not that hard to do this day. If you're not hiding your number, it's pretty findable. He figured out their numbers and he texted them and asked for Bitcoin. He was arrested. So are all these other ransom notes just that as well? Are they fakes? We don't know. But it looks like the family certainly is treating them as possibly being authentic, trying to communicate with these people, asking for proof of life. And also, I would imagine that Savannah and her siblings are also, getting guidance from investigators. So they certainly haven't disputed them, at least publicly. And don't forget, they're asking for a deadline of 5 o'clock local, which is about, 5 hours from now. So, God forbid something should or shouldn't happen at that hour, other than Mrs. Guthrie being returned. Are they looking at family members as suspects? This is a question that's come up a lot. And because we all know that, when a person goes missing, investigators turn to their loved ones first, right? So I actually personally inquired with the Pima County Sheriff's Office, and this was a while ago. This was, kind of early last week, and the Pima County Sheriff's Office told me that, of course, family members are always questioned in these scenarios. The sheriff would not say they're ruling out family, but also would not say family or suspect. So you know how that goes. They don't give you something definitive, but they're acknowledging the possibility. So that certainly is a possibility. No authority has come out to say any individual has been ruled out. That would be a big development in this case, something we're certainly watching for. So that's a very good question. I believe the brother-in-law, Tommaso, was the last person that we are aware of to see Nancy after driving her home from their house on Saturday night. Okay, if you have any other questions, let me know. We're going to be here on the ground for a while. The Nancy's house and the sister's house, Annie's house, are pretty quiet today, but in a moment's notice that can all change. And we'll keep an eye on the Bitcoin reports because we'll see if there's any movement there. My impression is if there was a confirmed, proof of life, if there was a confirmed captor here, a hostage taker, and someone had confirmed to the Guthrie family or investigators that they definitively have Nancy Guthrie, there probably would have been a payment, right? I mean, who would have paid for their mother? So the fact that has not happened more than a week later now kind of makes you question if these ransom notes are real or if they're linked to the disappearance at all. And we had a former FBI assistant director on our air saying, like, you really have to question if this is a kidnapping or if there's other possibilities. Especially since someone was arrested in LA for asking for Bitcoin payment, right? So we already know there's one fake out there. Okay, correspondent Matt Finn, I'll be on the ground. And thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble on. I know I was just up in Minneapolis.
All right, let's move on to some other stuff here.
Yeah, the demand for Bitcoin is interesting because it is maybe the most traceable form of payment outside of just a card payment.
Yeah, no, I mean,
like even the because even if you have like a VPN or some sort of thing that bounces the IPN around, you would still at some point have to put in your social security number and your banking information. There's nothing to bounce those around. There's nothing to mask those. So that tells me that this isn't about money.
And it makes me think that either that or the people aren't very smart that did this. You know what I mean?
That, but then again, you got to have some level of intelligence to be able to pull this off for this long.
That's the other problem with it. I agree with you.
So this wasn't about the money.
We got giant electrical certified truck here.
That's an interesting statement, Dylan. It makes you wonder. Welcome, R. Johnson. Good to see you.
And you look at the fact that one of the ransom letters was directed directly at SAVANAH. That opens up another Pandora's box. This could be something as simple as something within the family going on. It could be a crazed fan, or as we come to know in media, very cutthroat, and people will do crazy things to get that promotion.
Sure.
To make that step up.
That is a fact. That's another good point too, bud.
So,
hey, Tomboy, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
The new question becomes, who replaced SAVANAH going to the Olympics?
Yeah.
I'm going to jump to another spot.
Look at a 16.
Yeah, that's a good point. This was just sent to me dropped an hour ago. Let's check this out real quick. That's a good point, though, what you just said. And then I talked about a couple days ago, too. Let's check this out.
Mile-an-hour radius, given the time frame that is in that letter.
Check out.
1 second, I forgot to pull down the other
And you
screen.
use Tucson as
the
the central point.
And
And here's what we have.
So
So
this
this
Hold on.
is Tucson. And this is the radius of the 60 miles an hour over the amount of time
that
they say they would get
Nancy back by to Tucson. So it incorporates a lot of states. It incorporates Arizona, California, Nevada, Vermont, Idaho, Wyoming.
You keep doing that. Utah.
I'm sorry.
You keep saying that. I know you're looking and
I'm
you're
sorry.
seeing it as a V.
I apologize.
It's
Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, even Mexico,
Yeah.
Texas, a slice of Kansas, and a slice
bit
of
of
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
So, that's a lot, but it's not anywhere in the country or even outside of the country except for Mexico. And I doubt Mexico
I'm
doesn't
doubting
make
the
sense
Mexico.
because you don't want to go across the border.
They're not
and
going to
get
cross
stopped.
the border.
No.
Yeah.
So it's really here. And at least that's something. And, they have now put out a $50,000 reward for information leading to the return of Nancy. So at least,
I guess
you can look at this area and say, this is where people should be particularly vigilant.
Right, because when you're watching the news conference, wherever you are, you may be thinking, well, I'm nowhere near that. There's nothing I'm looking out for. But it's not just people in Arizona, certainly not just people in Tucson, but there are several states where you should be on the lookout for something. And it was very clear from the tone of that news conference, they need help. They want more tips from the public because they need something to point them in the direction of the abductors. And it doesn't seem, at least they're not letting on, that they have anything like that now.
Right. So this is just surmise. This is opinion based on what we've seen in the ransom note and just generally.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are wondering, if this ransom note is legit, did the person just think, my God, there's Savannah Guthrie on TV. She's rich, she's famous. I'm going to
Let's go
find her
where
mother.
mom is. Yeah.
Or is it somebody who lives in the Tucson area and knows that Nancy lives there and
Right.
knows who Nancy's famous daughter is and hatched a plan?
Right.
And the reason that makes more sense to me is that you look at who got the ransom notes, and it's TMZ, which is national,
Right.
but then two local television
Two
stations
local
in
television
Tucson.
stations.
I did see that, Mr. Girl. I thought that was kind of ironic that happened the same day. It's pretty wild, especially in the same area. Very interesting.
That
you would
And
imagine
the same number.
they are
6
know
million.
That's
why they sent them to those stations.
Right.
I think it was 66.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying 6 million for Guthrie and 66 million for
Right. For that situation, right? No, exactly. Very, very much so. It's kind of weird.
Right. If you were just going to send it to national outlets, all right, sure, you'd send it to TMZ, but then you would send it to other national outlets. The fact that it's just those three outlets leads me, I agree with you. It seems like whoever we're dealing with here is someone in that area, in the Tucson area.
Yeah, and and one more thing. People have been asking, what is the nature of this letter? I mean, does it sound like it's written just by
Thank you, Meg.
a crazy person, or does it sound like somebody who has their faculties and is just evil? And I will say that, and you would disagree if you want, but
Welcome, altruistic.
well structured. It is well written.
It's pretty straightforward. Also, it's not very verbose, and it gets to the point.
Right to the point.
Right to the point. It is clear what their demands are. It is clear what they are willing to do and what they're not willing to do. And I think that is the frustration that the family certainly. And we saw Savannah's brother posting a video last night, or Savannah posted it right at the time of the deadline.
Right.
With her brother again saying, we want direct contact with you. And to this point, the abductors have not done that.
And said in the letter that there will be no further contact. We will see if they change their opinion. But the point I wanted to make about the letter is, my sense is this is an intelligent person, because when you look at the way that letter is written, grammatically it's correct,
Right.
no spelling errors. It is structured and layered. So
Right.
it just has the markings of somebody who seems somewhat intelligent.
Yeah.
I'm TJ. I'm from Wisconsin. And what really worries me about
Good point, chocolate dipped.
this situation is how misinformation can spread online like wildfire. I mean, it's all too easy for bad actors to use tools like AI to generate potentially a fake ransom note or generate a video that makes it seem like her mother is still alive. And it just makes it much more difficult because they're injecting so much confusion into the situation.
Yeah, you're right.
Not yet, Michelle.
Technology is definitely another layer to this, not only because of the Bitcoin, which won't be traceable, but you're right. The use of deep fakes and AI and all that is a big challenge for law enforcement. Well,
All right, 1 minute. Let's see here, guys. I had a couple other things. 1 minute. My apology. Go ahead, bud.
I did want to add with as far as the releasing the ransom note to the outlets. I kind of have a feeling that I have a couple feelings on this. This could have been the original kidnappers assuming that the ransom notes are real. They sent it to the smaller outlets, and they just went straight to police. They didn't release them, but they knew that TMZ does not have the journalistic integrity to not release it. And if that is the case, one, the smaller outlets got some explaining to do, and two, the person or the people who committed who did the kidnapping they're not just intelligent, but they are hyper intelligent and calculating.
Good point. Interesting. And why are you saying that?
Because they knew that TMZ would not be able to resist posting that.
No, of course. And I agree. Yeah. That makes
which leads to more. This isn't about the money, and this may not even be about Savannah. Savannah is just a means to an end. This could very well just simply be about being famous and knowing something that has the nation gripped, and you're the only one with answers.
Right. Good point. Let me throw this in here real quick. I got a bunch of stuff that was sent to me, you guys, so bear with me.
The Nancy Guthrie case keeps getting stranger and stranger and more perplexing. We have so much to go over, but first and foremost, there is a critical deadline per the ransom notes that is happening today at 5 p.m. Now, I have gone back and forth about these ransom notes. Do I think that these are actually the abductors? Do I think that it's just a hoax and that the FBI is scripting these scripts and videos for the Guthrie family to record while they work on the real abductor? I mean, maybe. Again, I go back and forth, and I'll tell you why. But first, let's talk about what Harvey Levin disclosed in the most recent episode of Two Angry Men. It's right here on the Los Angeles Magazine YouTube page. If you haven't heard that yet, you should run, not walk, to listen to that episode as well. But Harvey discloses something very interesting, which gave me pause again on maybe, just maybe, these ransom notes are real and are connected to Nancy's abduction. So he makes it a point to say that in the TMZ ransom note, and by the way, all of the notes are different. There were notes or emails sent to 2 other local Arizona stations. And the note that they sent to TMZ, totally separate. And he said there is mention of Nancy's Apple Watch in this letter, and something about the Apple Watch that only the abductor would know. Now, is it possible that somebody saw through the house after the fact, because the note didn't come in until 3 days later, through these floodlights? Sure, maybe. But Harvey also said something interesting as well. And I don't think this necessarily has anything to do with whether the ransom letters are real or not, but he believes that the sequencing of these letters, he believes that the 2 affiliate stations in Arizona were sent these letters first, and they didn't do anything with them. They didn't report on them. You know, they gave them to the police, but they essentially just sat on them. And the captors, or whoever sent these, they wanted attention. They wanted everyone to know who was in control. So when they weren't getting the attention they wanted, who did they send to? TMZ. So that is not confirmed, but that is what Harvey believes based on everything he knows. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Now,
okay, so, and that's all I was going to show you on there from her. 1 minute here. All right, guys, so this is new 34 minutes ago. 1 minute.
Moments. We'll hear from former FBI Special Agent Stuart Kaplan. We'll dig in deep with Stuart. First, though, senior correspondent Alicia Acuna reports live from Tucson. Alicia.
And Marnie, FBI. Hi, Harris. No confirmation yet on whether the family has paid that reported $6 million. And we don't know yet if that video that the Guthries released over the weekend prompted any movement by her captors. Right now, we want to give you a bird's eye view of the situation here on the ground from our Fox flight crew. You can see 2 sheriff's vehicles parked outside the home. This began on Sunday. The department issuing a statement saying their constant presence now is at the request of the Guthrie family. There's this septic tank that was searched this weekend as well. On Sunday afternoon, investigators used a long pole to probe inside. They were focused here for about an hour in the back of Nancy's property. On Saturday night, law enforcement returned to re-walk the terrain around the house using their flashlights in the pitch black dark of night. Then later that night, our Fox Digital team was at Annie Guthrie's house when sheriff deputies went inside. Flashes of light could be seen, like coming from a camera. They were coming from the garage and also from another room. The FBI is analyzing a trove of data from not only Nancy Guthrie.
That's a good question, Kim. I would like to know that, if KBOI was the fake ones. Interesting. Very good question, too.
Guthrie's home, but her neighbors. This is a photo of one of the cameras removed from the outside of Nancy's house. Even if a camera like this doesn't record someone on the property, the FBI can grab what's known as unseen data.
For example, you have a lot of neighbors saying, oh, my Ring camera never registered anything. Doesn't mean that technology has not logged the ability to see it, but didn't think it was big enough to ping that app we may use. So there still could be data there. Cameras facing the Guthrie house right now show very little activity, but I promise you there's an enormous amount of activity going on the digital side.
And Harris here on day 9, still no suspects officially or persons of interest. Back to you.
Alicia, thank you. I want to bring in Stuart Kaplan now. He is a former FBI special agent, global security risk management expert, and a criminal defense attorney. Great to have you, Stuart. I want to start with the, as they've been described, kind of cryptic video appeals for the return of Nancy Guthrie. And maybe what would be cryptic about them is, first, it was, emotional, so on and so forth, a lot less of that now. What is the type of communication that we are seeing publicly from that family? How would you describe it?
From my vantage point, those messages are messaging directly the source of whoever has been sending those ransom notes. Now, we don't have the benefit of being able to actually read those ransom notes. And by the way, there may be some additional messaging that, quite frankly, law enforcement or the FBI is holding close to the vest. But it seems...
Bye, Miss Tandy. Don't work too hard, dear. We'll see you soon.
at least yesterday, that messaging in a very cryptic but very specific and methodical way was responsive to specific questions or concerns from the ransom note makers or authors of that ransom note. And that's why I think that there is a lot more information that is unknown to the general public, that specifically is only known to law enforcement. And it's a cat and mouse game at this point.
Look, the money more than quadrupled. We went from 1 million in Bitcoin or thereabouts to 6 million now. The original reward was $2,500. The FBI bumped that up to 50 last week, 50,000. What do you make of the money play in this whole game?
Well, again, that money play may have been because, quite frankly, either the family resisted or pushed back, or at the direction of law enforcement was not responsive to the ransom note makers or communicators. And in retaliation for non-compliance, they now escalated or increased or heightened the threat level and said, look, we wanted 1 million. And now if you want to see your mother return to you or ever see her alive again, it's now 6 million. And I will say this 5 o'clock deadline cuts both ways, because if nothing happens at 5 o'clock, clearly the ransom note makers lose their credibility. And also, if the Guthrie family doesn't follow through and make that payment again, there may be some unfortunate consequences. This is going to be a game changer this afternoon at 5 o'clock.
So you're saying that they've got to pay that money before 5? 6 million.
Well, look.
And we don't know if they've paid that or not paid that as of yet. My understanding was they were going to pay that over the weekend. But there again, we don't know 100%.
Yeah, well, look, there's a lot of tension behind the curtains. I will say that the Guthrie family, and rightfully so, if it's your loved one, you're willing to pay whatever it takes, whatever you could muster up or afford, even if it's a long shot. On the flip side, law enforcement is wanting to see proof of life. They want to see some additional information so that arguably you don't send 6 million
to the kidnappers, Mad Dog, that are the ones that abducted Nancy.
dollars to someone who disappears and they have nothing to show for it. So here again is a cat and mouse game. I will just say this to you, and I've said it from the very beginning. The advancement of technology that is in the toolbox of the FBI is like no other, certainly in 2026. Those assets and resources generally are never known or seen by the general public in a criminal investigation. I again think the breakthrough of this case will be because of the advancement in technology that the FBI has deployed in this case. Those data sets, those digital footprints do take some time. But again, I am optimistic that we are at the precipice of this case being broken wide open.
Look, I want to talk about some of the things that have actually gone on with the case. And this is not to impugn anybody in the investigation. I mean, obviously, law enforcement, military. I'm a huge supporter of the blue. But that sheriff has some problems now, because now it's come out by his own admission in one of the previous news conferences that, yeah, hindsight 2020 maybe should not have released the crime scene, which, by the way, tomorrow will have been a week ago. And then they reopened it, and then they went back out this weekend, so on and so forth. All of that could be fantastic. They're gathering things. But in the
that's a good point, Virginia. I don't believe that we've seen or heard anything about dogs. But I knew this was coming. But that's a good question, Virginia. But I knew this statement here was coming about the sheriff.
meantime, everybody trampled that space who was within, 100 miles of it. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Whoever could get there. They were walking all over that crime scene at Nancy Guthrie's house for at least a day. Fox News Digital is reporting staffing shortages delayed the launch of high-tech search aircraft for hours after Guthrie was first reported missing. How big of a problem is that?
Well, look, and I hate again, and I agree with you, I don't want to trample or bash any law enforcement officer, but let's just talk about the real world. Elderly people go missing all the time. Unfortunately, there are a lot of medical emergencies that happen where people lose their awareness and they wander off, and family members they go and find that they're no longer home. What happens is it's a routine 911 call. Local law enforcement arrives on scene and basically goes through the motions of just taking a missing person's report. It's very common. It's very routine. There are no bells or whistles or alarms that go off. In this particular case, and to your point, the preservation of the integrity of a crime scene only can happen on its first step onto that property. And there lies that you can never treat anything in this world any longer as just a routine, mundane circumstance. You have to always
Pause it for a
the
second.
worst case scenario. In this particular case, and by the way, the was not first on scene, and I will tell you, I know they would love to have been first on scene to have preserved the integrity of that crime scene, because there really, quite frankly, is no way to go back and put it into the exact state it was when they first arrived on scene. But again, we have to move forward and we have to work with what we have.
With what we have, real quickly. Look, it's optics now. You've got a family, high profile, Savannah Guthrie. You've got the country watching, the world watching this case, which is one of the highest profile we've seen in decades. And I understand that the U of A basketball team, NCAA Division I, have stars. And I understand that the sheriff is a fan. But the pic.
Sorry, bud, I didn't hear you. What's up?
So, one of the things that I was going to say when he was going on about how it's routine.
Yes.
That excuse does not apply here. You have obvious signs of a struggle from what we've seen in the report.
Yeah, of course.
There is blood there is a concerning amount of blood on the floor.
Yeah.
And her phone and her watch are not with her. And on
Right.
top of that, none of the issues that she's having is upstairs. It's all physical.
Right. Now, yeah, there's absolutely no mental incapabilities or anything like that. She's just 84 with some health problems, right? Absolutely.
So that little spiel that he went on was absolute bull.
I can agree. Like I said, not all these people are as good as they should be.
And then as far as, I don't give a rip if you're a fan of Arizona basketball or Arizona State basketball, and the only saving grace that he would have is if he's got a close family member involved.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't sound like he is. It just sounds like he's a fan.
It sounds like he just went because he was a fan, and that's pretty pathetic.
That
True.
That pretty much, he does not realize how big of a case this is. Anybody with a functioning brain who would have, even if you already had tickets to the game, and I get it's a hot ticket, Arizona's really good, yada yada.
Yeah, no, agreed.
But in today's world, perception is reality. You cannot be going to those while you're dead center of the attention of the world, and you already made the biggest screw up on the planet.
I can agree. Yes, sir. I can agree. Very good point. What is up, 1-1? How are you today, sir?
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Welcome, my friend. How are you today?
Hello. Yeah, I was just gonna say most of what your other guest up there was. I'm actually
Dylan.
driving right now. Is that Dylan? Yeah, great. That was great point. And that's what I was gonna stress. How this you can't say this is a routine. You know, I hate that word routine, but you know, following protocol of a missing person. What that guy said is absolutely true. You know, elderly do go missing, you know, or people with medical, you know, needs and whatnot. It happens all the time. Just because someone reports that someone is missing or whatnot, you know, we can't make every single possible location a crime scene.
Right.
It's just impossible. However, this is not a routine, as Dylan pointed out. Absolutely, you see blood, like, blood spatter, and her phone, the phone being there, and all this other stuff. It should have been made a crime scene.
Immediately.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
And also, I'm seeing a lot of people who are quote unquote true crime creators. They're like, they're instantly going to, oh, we got to treat this as a kidnapping. No, you treat this as a homicide, because it very well could turn into one.
Yeah,
agreed. That's a good point. Yes, sir.
And my big problem still is this proof of life. There has to be, you got to get proof of life. I mean, I don't know how you can't pay a ransom without some kind of proof of life. So,
and that's my biggest point with this one. When I agree with you, like, I would imagine that they would have to have had some kind of proof of life to even agree to the paying for the paying of the ransom. But we don't know that because they don't talk about that.
Right.
That's a big problem for me as well with this. Big one.
Yeah, and I guess that, and I also don't. The other thing too, what I think it was Dylan was talking about. I don't understand the whole thing about wanting Bitcoin. I mean, that is probably one of the dumbest things that you would want, is some kind of digital currency,
right?
With tracking wise. So I don't understand that at all. Like that's what they're asking for, I guess, but
it did make much sense when I looked into it. I thought at first, because I didn't know much about it, maybe they're doing it because they think that it's non-traceable, but that's probably the worst thing you could do, in my opinion, is to go with something like that.
Of course,
anything digital is traceable, folks.
Of course, I mean, think about just think about the common things that we know. This is why, like, the mafia and criminal enterprises, what do they try to do? They try to have front businesses to whitewash, to whitewash all the money. You get a whole bunch of money. That's why do they want to be so much interested in casinos? And because anything that involves a heavy amount of cash to change that cash, it's called whitewashing.
Money laundering and aspects. All right, 100%.
But I don't know how you money launder with digital Bitcoin.
I don't know.
As Dylan said, like, as far as I know, you need to put some kind of social security number and all this stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. That's agreed. This was kind of dumb in that aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really dumb. I take it you're out on the streets working right now?
I'm on my way in right now.
Gotcha.
To work.
Be careful. For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, this is wild, buddy. What are your like thoughts on it so far? What do you think?
I mean, they're only going to tell us so much. Obviously, the investigations going on. I like you said, I don't see how you pay anything without any kind of some kind of proof of life. It sounds to me, like what they suggested. Maybe it's somehow someone local in the area there that just knows who she is, and
right.
Wanted to establish, does it really care about anything else? Just but then again, to ask for Bitcoin is such an odd thing.
I agree with you on that.
I don't know. It's off. I mean, I know that some people I saw this. I didn't see the video yet. There's possibly some kind of connection with Epstein stuff, but I don't know how.
I saw that too.
Right. But what kind of revenge would this be to, on Epstein? You wouldn't care about asking for ransom stuff.
Right. It would make no sense. It truly, at this point, it would make no sense to me. At least not.
But he's right. Unfortunately, though. But what this guy said, the last video you played is right. If that is the final, the 5 o'clock deadline, and nothing happens, it's gonna be a little weird. Not that I hope she's okay, obviously, but I don't, I
agree.
It just seems like there's too many fake things going on.
And it's hard to differentiate what's what. That's the good point.
Yeah.
And the scariest part is the people who it appears pulled this off is going to be more than capable of doing it again.
Sure.
Because,
if they get away with it.
Well, because when they're asking for Bitcoin, I don't think it's about the money. I think it's more about the fame. I know something. I know something the rest of the country doesn't know.
Right.
And
you're right. And it's also very. I'm not saying it's never happened. It's very odd to not try to contact the family direct.
Because it was all about the public stage.
Right.
The more and more you dig into this, the more and more it looks like it's more of attention and fame, as Mish said. It is all about the fame. The Bitcoin. Yeah. I don't know what the plan is for that, but I don't think that's going to end up getting touched. But the Bitcoin is just a cover for what they really want.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
I got more questions about the video doorbell.
Yeah.
Do we know what kind? Because I have a Ring doorbell at my house, and it's got it lets you set up a motion thing. So even if someone came to my house and they ripped the doorbell off, there's still gonna be video that's gonna go to a server of who was in front of my house. So I wish we knew a little bit more about that video doorbell.
Right.
My question. Well, do we know if there's a ring on the back door?
I have no idea what that one. All I know about is the front door there, right here, where you could tell where they took it off. That's the only one. Now, this is just
right.
This just dropped an hour ago.
Yeah, and there's a lot. There's a lot of different. Ring is obviously one of the most popular ones. I know that there's a whole bunch of different ones, but if it's any kind of doorbell, video doorbell that's connected to some kind of server or anything like that, there's going to be some kind of video stored in the cloud. I mean, is it possible to have a video doorbell and not be on a server? Sure, but I would tend to guess that it was on.
There has to be.
That's
something.
That's the whole point. It's the whole point of having the video doorbell, because you pay whatever, a little money for a service, and like someone's in front of my house, I get a notification on my phone, and I click the thing, and it takes me. I can see who's at my house or who's ringing.
And the
I can see who's walking up to my house before they even ring the doorbell. So
and the thing with this that's weird too is it's not even weird. It's like the FBI is leading this. Okay, they can do whatever the hell they want to do. They can get any footage they need to get. They can pull it from a cloud, whatever they got to do.
Right.
So that at that point, I would believe they have that option no matter what. Now, this news break here came out an hour ago, and it states in here that the account that is tied to the ransom is reportedly empty, they're saying, meaning nobody's paid anything yet. If that's what this is, that's why we're going to hear this real fast. I'm curious.
Months ago, TMZ was reporting that the Bitcoin account allegedly set up to accept the funds, the money, in exchange for Nancy Guthrie, remains empty at this hour. An apparent ransom deadline of 5 p.m. Arizona time is fast approaching. So yeah, now we're 4.5 hours away. You and I were talking off camera, and I know you can't share every detail, but when it comes to even an IP address to figure out the ransom note and maybe what's coming next in this whole thing after that 5 p.m. deadline, you can get to that. You can't tell us every detail, but what can you share?
Right. So there's different elements that we're looking at right now. You're looking at the ransom emails, right? That's in and of itself its own topic.
Let's start there.
The masked IP addresses. People think, I'm going to send an email. It's going to be masked. No one's ever going to track me down. False. The FBI has the ability to unmask IP addresses. I know because I've done it, and I've seen it happen in large cases that have gone to court and been federally upheld. And so it is absolutely possible. But what it requires is digging through certain layers of information. That does take time, but it is possible.
Do you think 9 days are enough time?
That's a good question. Like I said, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. And so law enforcement is not going to show their hand right now. They're not going to show everything that they're capable of doing. Certainly not the FBI, because that's what they do. They keep it quiet and confidential to maintain the integrity of the investigation. But I think you've got the ransom email. Again, we've all been talking about it. It's either legitimate, they're a hoax, or they're a false flag and a distraction. And we're about to find out. Those ransom emails may have absolutely nothing to do with Nancy and her whereabouts. But on the flip side, they may. And that's, again, what the family's working with the FBI to determine what's the legitimacy of this. Now, when we look at, the masking of the IP addresses, that's one way to mask their identity. The other way that everyone's talking about is Bitcoin. Back in the day, it was, hey, we'll give you cash. Hey, we'll send it here. Not anymore. Bitcoin is highly sophisticated for individuals, and it is something that we knew that in the FBI, we were getting trained on their techniques, and they use it for a purpose. But every single transaction is recorded and documented on the blockchain, and that is visible. You can see that. But what you may not be able to see initially is a non-traceable wallet. But again, with certain investigative techniques and things that the FBI can do, they can get to the bottom of that. But the key is, if you ever want to cash in that money, so let's say you get $6 million, what good is that if you can't actually utilize that? In order to cash that in with a U.S. institution, you're going to have to provide a name, a social security number, identifiers in order to use that. You could let it sit in the wallet indefinitely, but what good is that? Or, again, I'm not going to go into any ideas. There's other things that, again, the FBI, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you better. So, Paul, the end-to-end transaction, if you will, the beginning of it with the money in the account hasn't happened. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I think it means that there is no level of trust there from the Guthrie family because they have not gotten any proof of life. And I think that there's got to be still some real question as to whether or not the two notes are coming from the people who actually have their mother, because proof of life is comparatively simple. You can come up with something that's very unique, very idiosyncratic from, let's say, Savannah's childhood or something like that, even if you don't want to put the mother on camera or something like that. But you could do that too.
Why couldn't you put the mother on camera?
You could. They may be worried about the comms. Is it traceable? Is the metadata going to show something that the FBI can pull out? And the good news here is that you got the FBI who are the best at this. So that's one of the
AI.
At this AI stuff, at tracing AI, because you can use AI against AI, tracing the Bitcoin, all that stuff, that goes on. Think of it as a pocketbook that everybody can see. The problem for them is that when you go to it, you can't buy, groceries with Bitcoin yet anyway. So when they go to take it out, that's, as I was talking about earlier, that's the vulnerability. And that's the thing that you are hoping you can see at some point. But as I said earlier, if it happens someplace that you can't get to, North Korea or something, then, you're sunk.
Donna?
I mean, do we have to think, and Nicole, you may be able to answer this, do we have to think that the letters that they have, these two letters, that the FBI must think that there's some validity to them? Because as we've seen, there's already been arrests for people who have sent fake notes. So, there must be some level there where they feel like there's some validity here, or otherwise, wouldn't they have made arrests already? Like, if they can figure out that some are fake, why do we not know a little bit more about these at this point?
Right. So again, without going into the details of what's happening behind the scenes, they're not going to close the door on any potential piece of evidence. Let's say that they think something is or is not legitimate. The FBI, their key is open communication. They want as many data points of evidence digitally in whatever format. So let's say every time they post on Instagram, and then there's a response, and then there's an email. Every single thing is a digital trail of potential evidence. And so a lot of times you may think, oh, they're going to solve the case off of this particular point, when in reality, what the FBI is doing is they're taking all the digital artifacts and they're piecing it together in a timeline. And they're looking, okay, how can we continue to keep the lines of communication open? Again, they may have information that this is not accurate. Maybe the Guthries don't intend to pay this. We don't exactly know what's happening. But I promise you the key is communication. And what the Guthries want is they want immediacy. What the offenders want is they have been looking for time. And what Savannah did in that video, they basically are pushing their hand and they're saying, let's go. You are no longer in control. We are. You have run out of time and we are willing to pay. So put up or shut up.
So this is about engagement with whomever may have her. But you know, what's interesting too, Emily, if it turns out that nothing happens at 5 p.m., they don't pay the money, they don't have any more engagement, then perhaps what you have is a situation where that wasn't real. Now they can focus on something else.
Yeah, essentially ruling out.
Yeah.
But wait, I just want to sort of clarify what you said, because I want to make sure I understand. I thought the urgency is for both parties, for all parties, because of course the families want their mother back, of course, but also the alleged captors want their money. So aren't they the ones that were demanding this soon time frame? And then when you said U.S. institutions earlier, but what if, to Paul's point, the receiving institution is out of this country, then it seems, what then in terms of capturing and identifying?
That's a great question, because if it's outside of the country, then do you really think that they have Nancy's mother? Or do they really have Nancy Guthrie? So then it leads to, okay, that's probably
you just put it out of the, like for the Cayman Islands, right? Like something like that, like a shielded account.
Right, but to ever bring it into the U.S. to be utilized in the United States, an institution of $6 million transaction, they're going to...
There's a middle, they call it an exchange.
There you go.
And there's a middleman that does it, and there's a lot of scrutiny on those. And
Yes.
so as a result, you got to do it someplace
There you
else. Remember, the arrest they made.
Yep.
I just looked it up to see how long it takes to unmask an IP address.
Uh-huh.
And for law enforcement, says it could in a high priority or extended circumstances, it can be as little as 15 minutes to a few hours.
Sure, and they got FBI doing this, so I'm sure they have a little bit more access than what local PD would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I would imagine they already have the address at this point.
I would hope. Yeah, I would hope.
Because even if they went through like a subpoena, it'd be 1 to 2 days if it's urgent, or it could take up to 1 to 4 weeks.
Well, the problem is they probably do have the IP, but I'm almost going to guarantee that they're using a masked IP.
That's how long it takes to unmask the IP.
But what I'm saying though is they're probably local, the people doing this, but they're probably routing the IP through like India or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and not every country not every country that you can mask your IP cooperates.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what, if they're intelligent enough to do what they've done, I'm going to guess that they ran it through probably another country or something in that aspect. And they probably looked into it to see who cooperates and who doesn't with the United States government in that aspect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my guess. There's just another minute or so left on this. I'll finish it out.
And I feel like she was almost getting there too. She was almost saying like what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and the people obviously that took Nancy are here. Nobody left the country, in my opinion. They're probably right down the road somewhere. But like I said, with everything they've done, they probably buried the IP, like I said, in another country multiple times. And I'm sure that they found it, but that at that point, then they have to figure out where it's coming from here. That's going to be the hard part. So this whole digital age bullshit has become, it's made, in my opinion, like crimes like this so much harder to solve in that aspect, you know, and it sucks for PD because it makes their jobs hard enough. So to have to deal with shit like this.
You heard what she was saying there at the end. She almost.
About which part?
She was almost saying, I think what she was, yeah. So it would be hard to cash out the Bitcoin here in the U.S. But what if what if it's cashed out at in another country? That's what. But she didn't say it. But
No.
I think that's where she was going.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. 100% right.
You know, your average high schooler could have broken that.
All right.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee Meck.
We know that the account so far per se is empty. Thank you, SRB. Which doesn't mean anything yet, but still, you know, I took it based on what I saw in that other video that they probably were going to pay if that was the case. But then again, we also had never heard of them getting any proof of life. So there's that too. So let me see. 1 minute here. There was something else that was sent. You guys are sending me stuff left and right. Okay, hold on. This was an FBI negotiator they brought on for this to give his take on it.
Gregory M. Vecchi, he's a retired FBI negotiator who's also served as chief of the FBI Behavioral Science Unit. Thanks so much for being with us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, as you know, the Guthrie family tells their mother's captor in that video that they've received the message that they're willing to pay. The tone is even more somber than it was in the previous video. The previous video was emotional. They were crying. They were calling mama, mommy. But in this one, it seems like it's, and maybe I'm wrong here, but it's all business. They are saying to whoever has their mother, we're ready to pay.
Enough.
Yeah. Bring her home. What did you make of it?
Well, it's interesting you bring up business because a true ransom kidnapping is a very rational and instrumental-based business deal. This isn't, any sort of like a grievance or really emotional. This is rational. They want money, assuming it is a true ransom case. I have some, questions about whether or not it is that I could speak to if you like. But the bottom line is a ransom kidnapping is a business deal. The person is taken hostage or they're kidnapped. They are used as property, as leverage in order to get a ransom. And if the ransom isn't paid, then there's usually some sort of threat of harm to that victim.
So, Gregory, what are the questions you have about whether this is a legitimate ransom case?
Well, a couple things. It doesn't fit a rational, instrumental, financial-based motivation to me. If so, it wouldn't be public. Because what happens when you make these ransom notes or demands public, it increases the risk of being caught. It increases, law enforcement involvement, and it also complicates, their control over the situation. So that's a huge problem. So they're almost always private negotiations between the family and the offender or the kidnapper. And the last thing you want in this type of a case is to have law enforcement or the public getting in your way. I think there might be some other motivations.
So Greg, what happens if? So wouldn't you think that if you're going to take the trouble to send the ransom note that you...
So this statement right here is what's been bothering me through this whole thing. Okay, based on what I've seen in the past, previous situations. Mr. Girl says, in my opinion, there would be no advantage to the perps to keep Nancy alive. If she was returned, and that's what I was worried about. She very likely would be able to possibly describe them, whether even if they were masked by voice, something, you know what I mean? And I can see people being overly nervous about keeping somebody that they have taken hostage or abducted alive because of situations like that. So I've been wondering about that and kind of worrying about that from the beginning. Very good point, Mr. Girl. Very good point. Any thoughts on that, 1-1 or Dylan?
I completely agree, but I could also I could also see this being all about the fame, and the saving grace for Nancy might be that this person is actually smarter than what they think they are,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, oh, I can kidnap the mother of a celebrity, return her home, and still not get caught.
And that could be what this is too. You know what I mean? Like, this could just be, can I pull this off? You know, just to see if I can kidnap the parent or a loved one of a celebrity and return that person alive and well, and maybe get something out of it at the same time. This could be, because people do stick shit like this all the time. Okay. But everybody makes mistakes. There's the problem. So, and with the FBI being on top of this and leading this and so on and so forth, I would find it hard to believe that somebody could get away with this. In the end, there would be something somewhere that they would be able to figure out who did this. Why? At least in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's interesting, though. That's a very good point that Mr. Girl made there, because that's something I've been worried about. Like I said, once they get, if they do truly just want something from this, or if they just want the fame of it, or any of, like what you were saying, Dylan, too, if it is whatever direction they're going with this, to run the risk of returning the captee, that's what bothers me, honestly.
Have an intention, and this is, again, I'm asking you to give us a sense from your years as an FBI agent that you have an intention, once the demands are met in that letter, to release the victim. And the second part of that question is, what happens if we get past the 5 p.m. deadline and nothing happens? What does that tell you?
Well, to answer your first question, the motivation is to get the money from the standpoint of the kidnapper, right? And kidnapper would know or understand that rationally.
You guys, it makes me wonder too, if this was somebody doing this just to see, will they actually pay us this? And if they do, maybe they have no plan on exchanging it. They just want to see if they could actually get paid. People do dumb shit to do dumb shit, no matter what the outcome could be. Some people do it just to see if they can get away with it. So going back to that, holy shit, they actually paid it. Now what? You know what I mean? Or I didn't think they were going to. No biggie. So on. But then what happens to Nancy at the same point? So that's still another thought. Go ahead, Dylan.
So, and this could also be simply a trial run. Can we actually get these people to pay? Because Savannah Guthrie is nowhere near the richest person on the planet.
Of course,
there are much richer people that you can get to.
That was another thing I thought about too. Yes.
So this may be, we can actually pull this off. Now let's go after this celebrity,
right,
who is worth $200 million,
like Brad Pitt or something, instead of, not that that's a good choice, but you know what I mean. I know exactly what you're saying. I got you.
And then instead of asking for Bitcoin, we just asked for cold hard cash.
Yeah, 100%, and that would make sense. Like, almost like, is this a practice run? Could this be a practice run to see if they can actually accomplish this? And if they do, then they'll go after somebody that they know probably could pay this out. That's a good point, Dylan. That's a very interesting point. Welcome, Krista.
Hey, how are you?
And also on top of all of that, we also have the it could be that I lost my train of thought.
All right, you're good. What's up, Krista? What are your thoughts on this so far today?
Well, I think that when of our history in the last 100 years have we ever heard of a case like this where it actually works out for either side, right?
We don't. You're right.
So whose bright idea would have this have been, and to put it publicly in the media where you have so many more eyes on you? And that's what worries me. Like, I feel like this woman, this could have been, if it wasn't somebody that was close to her,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a ransom. I don't think it's a ransom deal. If it is, it's not going to work out. I think that maybe they thought this house was like vacation houses because they said it's so dark there at night.
Yeah.
And that she's 84 years old and she's by herself in that huge property. They could either mistake it for a vacation house they thought they could rob or an easy target. You know, maybe thinking she keeps money there.
Well, and you know, that good point. Somebody else had said that to me in an email 2 days ago. That's a good point. Somebody said to me, they go, "What do you think that this was maybe a like a disturbed robbery? Like somebody was in the house when Nancy got home and she surprised them and she got hurt somehow and they like panicked and said, okay, we got to do something here. We can't just leave her here because she saw us or something like that." And decided that they were going to try to get something more out of it when they realized who she was possibly, you know what I mean? Or something like that. And I said, well, you know, I don't know, but that's a good point. Interesting.
I mean, because who, like, I mean, and then if it was to say it was, they're saying the son-in-law, he's going to have eyes on him. Look at the eyes that we have on the family. Why would they do something where they know, let's do that and let's like try to get money out of our family, knowing that they're going to have the FBI on them and they're not going to be able to move without them.
Well, and that's a big deal too. Another good point, you know, that you're making here is it would not be smart because a lot of people think and believe that Annie and her husband Tommaso, I think it is, I call him Tomato, but Tommaso may possibly have something to do with this. But knowing who they are, okay, that's a good point. Knowing that the other sister is Savannah Guthrie means that the whole world's watching this. That high-end law enforcement's going to get involved in this more than likely, because truly and honestly, if it was me or Dylan or even you, Krista, you know, one you could probably agree with this or disagree, whatever you choose to do. But if it was one of us that this happened to, we wouldn't be getting national attention. I doubt that the FBI would probably be involved as quick as they are, if at all. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Now the FBI does typically get involved in these kind of cases, regardless on who it is.
But as fast as what I'm saying is they were like, and they took the lead on this like almost immediately with this. So that's what I was trying to say.
And I also want to make it known, if I get kidnapped and they ask for ransom, don't pay it. Because I'm too much of a smart ass. I'm too much of a smart ass to be kidnapped for very long.
No, I wouldn't pay it only because you called me old.
The same thing, Dylan.
If you wouldn't have called me old, I probably would have paid it. But it's too late now. Just saying, buddy. Just saying.
It's all right. I'll just wait for dementia to kick in. You'll forget.
Oh, you know what?
You walked into that one.
Telling you what. Welcome, Kim. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Great show earlier, hon. Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there longer.
Thanks. I have a funny little story connected to this because, you know, we took a trip to Mexico and we went out and tried to do a little tourism stuff and we walked the wrong direction, or we went the right direction to a place, but it wasn't the kind of place I thought it was going to be. I wanted to find a market. And oh my gosh, you guys, like as bad as you could picture it, it was like it was so bad. And Carlos said the whole time we were walking down these side streets, there's wires hanging. Like, oh my God, it was so bad. And he said, if anything happened, he was going to throw me on the ground and lay on top of me.
Jeez, God. Well, I'm glad nothing did happen. Thank God. Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah, we have a story for sure.
That's wild.
You know, when Dylan was talking about your last statement about her being an elderly woman in the house alone.
Yeah.
I was thinking it could just be opportunity, right? This elderly woman.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't think of who yet. I mean, I would think if it was relatives, don't you think they would have found that out by now?
That's kind of my thought. Like, I would hope that they could have been able to, because I can't imagine somebody that's close. Okay, here's my thought on this. Regardless of what you're doing, if you're a family member doing this to somebody else in your family, it's still your family. You still have that. I would hope, at least, unless you're a completely cold-hearted dead person, but You still have that love for that family member deep inside. So in turn, in my opinion, I think you're going to make mistakes. Okay. And if that's the case, then that would have been found out like right away, I would think. And I agree with you, Kim.
Tomboy just wrote breaking news.
I know. I'm pulling it right now. 1 second.
Discord.
1 minute.
I
Let's see
think
what
they're
we
going
got.
to find the body is what I
And
think.
that's what I've been worried about all day ever since I watched that video.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's it at, Tomboy? Is it in blue in the mod chat, or is it from you to me personally?
I don't see anything on oh wait, news here.
Is this it here?
I'm kind of just taking this in, like I'm sure you guys are. So she's saying that they don't know where she is. We need your help. Did she even mention the ransom?
Is this it? 1 second, I think. Yeah, I think this is it. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Oh, a new video out from Savannah.
I think so. Yeah.
What a shame.
Yep. Here, hold on.
Tomboy screaming. Oh, okay.
No.
Hi, Krista.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
As we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all.
I will say this much. She looks a little less stressed.
All of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly.
Okay, well, that does not sound to me like they believe she's deceased. I mean, she hasn't said that, but it kind of doesn't sound that way. And I just splashed ginger ale in my eye, you guys, so I'm sorry. Jesus.
I'm drinking ginger ale too.
Well, this is a little different kind.
This is so horrible. This is so heartbreaking.
Strawberry fruit splash, 0 sugar. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, wow. Around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation and we need your help. Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her.
Is it me? Does it kind of sound like they're maybe not thinking about paying this?
I feel like they don't think it's real anymore.
SRB just said that too. What do you guys think?
Well, so there's So the ransom letter is not real, but her mom is still missing and has been taken. So it's kind of like two paths. Like, is the ransom note a red herring? Is it?
Here's the thing, though, Kim. She said in their last message, and I know you saw this, that we got your message. We understand. We just want our mother back so we can celebrate, so on and so forth. So there's somebody that has communicated with them something.
Yeah, they got a second note. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Whether it shows ransom or not, but there's still a deadline, from my understanding, correct?
Mm-hmm. A couple more hours, I think.
Yeah.
5 p.m. today, their time, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be 8 o'clock Eastern time.
7, I think. Wouldn't it be 7 o'clock our time, Kim?
I think so. I think it's 2 hours.
I'm bad with that stuff,
No,
you guys. So.
No, 2 hours would be Mountain Time.
They are Mountain Time, I think.
Yeah. And she's asking here for, like, everybody out here's help.
Like prayers.
And I'm wondering, like, is it because they're not this one's hard to take.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to, like, describe. I don't know. And that's why I'm asking your guys' thoughts.
I feel like it's more of like, we're not hearing anything. We're not getting proof of life. It's getting down to the wire. Maybe it's not real now. Maybe they think people stopped looking for clues and stuff because they thought maybe it was for deadline, but she's like
8 days in too. Yeah, 8 days in. That's kind of scary. Like we all said before, after 48 hours, it's pretty much the show's over. You know what I mean?
First 48. Yeah.
Right. So, and if this isn't about money, then you guys, that's my question to all of you. What is Dylan made good points with this? He thinks that maybe notoriety, the symbolism of, is 1-1 still here? Did he drop out? I think he dropped out. Okay. Thanks, 1-1, for your input, buddy. Or is it because it's Savannah Guthrie's mother, the notoriety of the situation? Or is somebody angry with somebody? You know what I mean? That's hard to understand with this too. That's why I'm wondering what you guys think.
Such a weird thing. Like, it's such an odd thing to do. Like, one, like, you have to keep her healthy, and you have to risk her having a heart attack from the scare or the shock, or like, who knows?
Or unless you don't care about that, Krista, that could be something they really don't truly care. They're just using that as leverage for whatever they're trying to get.
Yeah, if she dies, you don't get anything. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I mean.
Weird to, like. And then somebody else was saying too, like, if she was, somehow hurt, they usually don't hurt the victim to then ask for their, money. And again,
well, here's another point that I'm wondering. I'm wondering because every time that they do a video, it seems at least something is responded to them by these people in some form. Is this to pull a response? Okay.
Yeah.
That's my curiosity. Is this to pull another response?
Yeah, good catch. Yeah, probably.
So that's and I think, we got the FBI's tracking these. I'm sure everything that's being said somehow. So did they say, hey, go put another message out, Savannah? Just you. Because the last letter, if you remember, was directed directly at her.
Yes.
Savannah. So at this point, this is a personal thing now. This is Savannah by herself saying, hey. And that's probably, I'm guessing, trying to think like the FBI might, that this would be, okay, here I am. You got me. Do you hear me? Do you see me? Where's my mother? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Good call. So you were talking about like the reasons why. And so there's, I think, like 5, right? So it's like, sexually motivated. God, we hope not.
Oh my God. Right.
Like payback, retribution, money, love triangle. Like, what's the 5th one? Like, those are all the like typical motives.
Pretty much. You claimed them all. You got them all right there. Yeah.
So out of all of those, what do you think fits?
I mean, oh my God. I don't know. I think that's a good question, Kim. And here's the thing. I think part of this, we would kind of have to know any form of a family dynamic going on, for one, okay, to understand if there's anything there. 2, we already know that there's money. You know, there's money in the family, period. Like Savannah has money, end of story. We don't know if there's any kind of political tie, which I don't think there's a political tie to this. I don't think there is, but this is my opinion. Okay. I know, Lucy. I just said what I said. I'm sorry. But anyway, but the money has been like the number one like reason for me the whole time. But Dylan made good points with the money point, because they brought up the whole crypto thing, and I'm just like, how stupid are you? You know what I mean? So it seems like they're smarter than that. This is the thing, you know. Did Savannah piss somebody off with something she said, you know, on the Today Show at some point? And people do stupid shit. We know they do.
True. That is true.
Do they have kids, Savannah and her husband?
I don't even know. That's a good question.
Yeah, like if they don't have kids, the next person you would want to hurt would be like a parent, right?
Yeah, of course.
Be like, you know, if they don't agree with her, or they didn't want her to go to Italy for the Olympics, or you know, somebody in the family from Italy, maybe they get away with this in other countries, and they thought, hey, let's see if we can get away with it.
Right. And I'm sorry, let me retract me thinking like the FBI statement. I'm sorry, that's not what I was trying to say. I just meant like thinking like law enforcement and a little bit more in depth. So let me take that back. I see everybody's ready to slit my throat over that one. Sorry.
She has a daughter and a son.
She has 2 kids, they're saying. So okay, I didn't know that. And she's kept them out of this obviously, thank God. But I just wonder if that's what this is, because dear Savannah, we heard that, and you put it on your channel when the FBI, she's awesome. I can't think of her name, but when she was talking about it, how it was directed directly at her.
Maureen O'Connell. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so awesome. I really do love her. Yeah, it was dear Savannah, and it's weird because I was talking about that at the beginning of the show. Dear Savannah. That doesn't sound much like an angry person. If I know what I'm saying right now probably doesn't sound right. Okay.
No, I know what you mean.
It's more personal to me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The dear part of it, instead of to whom it may concern, to Savannah, Guthrie, you know, something like that would be less personal to me, but that is very personal sounding to me.
Or formal, because that's how you address letters.
True.
And they did say with the first one that it was very well written. So
here's another question for you guys. Do you think that all of these letters are coming from the same person or persons? Or do you think that they're purposely having other people send them?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the 2 that went to the news station or whatever, the local news, I think they're from the same person if they're legit. But again, like, maybe this is something that happens. Like maybe they get away with this in other countries, and they thought maybe they could get away with it here. That's the only way I could think that somebody would think that this could work out.
So somebody that's here from another country is trying to do that.
Yeah, or like is connected with somebody that's like, you know, we do this in my country. Let's see if we could do it. We'll get away with it here. And also, you're part of the family, so you'll be watching the feds the entire time. You'll know what's up. Then you can I don't know. I hate to keep saying the brother-in-law. I just don't know how like a random person would pick their mother, you know, because again, you don't know if she's sick. You don't know her whole medical history. You don't know much if you're just
other than that right. No, I understand. I see what you're saying. Sherry just said Dago or Kim. Whoever took her was at her home for 41 minutes. Why? Well, that's another question that I've had too.
It takes her that long. I think it takes that long to get her out of the house. That's why. She can't walk. They said that very well.
Well, and I want that. Great, right, Krista. But I wondered if with the blood that we saw, if there was an injury that they tried to fix possibly before they left with her. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Possible. Yeah. It makes me think that they were looking for something, and that means it would be someone who knows them. And I keep connecting it back to Savannah saying, this is important to us.
Mm-hmm. This.
I'm like, what's this? Like, did they not only take her mom, but they took something else?
Well, and that, thank you. See, part of this is encrypting, or you know what I'm trying to say, like breaking down what is being said, because they're not going to say word for word exactly. They have to keep some of this close to their vest. We know that. So when she said, and it's interesting that she's always the main speaker. Okay, there's that too. And this letter was directed at her. She's the main speaker. It really takes me to her with everything. It's all about her for some reason, whether it's the money, whether it's a personal thing, whatever it is, it's about Savannah. End of story. Because otherwise, what reason would you have to kidnap Savannah Guthrie's mother?
Right.
Why not Tom Smith's mother or
the next door neighbor has just a nice
down the road? Yeah, thank you. So no matter what, I think it has to do with Savannah, but there's something else to it. Because like you said just now, this means a lot to us. This. And when she said, we got your message and we understand.
That's so weird.
That part is driving me nuts.
Thing to say.
So
what was the difference in the tone of the first letter and the first response, then the tone of the second response, and then the tone of this one? Yesterday seemed more of like in my opinion, it sounded like they've explained that we've accidentally now unalived your mother, but we would still like to give you her body back. We would still like you to pay. Like that, and like, oh, we understand. That's what it felt like to me.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it definitely could be that way. I don't want to say that's the be all end all, but that does sound that way. Yes.
And then you're sympathizing with the captor, somebody that's already. Then I'd be like, all bets are off. You've took the risk of my mother dying. Now she's dead. Now we're gonna come get your ass. Like, I don't know. I just can't think. Like, what is the point in saying, "Oh, she's dead," but you still give us money because you think you pay for the?
They want her back. That's not.
I know that sounds hard.
Without fail.
But like,
let me play this one more time.
I got a question that
Go
someone
ahead.
might be able to answer. Do we know whether her father was buried or cremated?
Savannah's?
Yes.
I have no idea. I know he died when she was young. That's all I know. Like, I think she was a teenager.
Because if this was if this was a showman style, or if this was, as you believe, personal, who's to say that is very valuable isn't her father's urn?
That's I never thought of that. That's interesting.
Because, of course, if you're going to go personal, then, and we'll assume that the children are, you just can't get to them and get them quietly.
maybe something did go missing that they're not making us aware of that was really valuable, and that's basically like, if you want this back, and your mother,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, her dad worked as a engineering for mining.
Mining engineer. Yeah.
Mining engineer. So that's kind of, I don't know. They have gold hidden in their house or something. I know he's doing coal mining, but
like, I still feel like having an 84-year-old woman who's her daughter with no proper security of all things in a neighborhood that has no cameras. I feel like it's such a target that, like, who knows? Like, this could be easily a random target that maybe they thought that was a house that was on vacation, people are on vacation, or it's a vacation house, or they think she's 84, she can't defend herself. I mean, it's dark as hell out here. Nobody's gonna. For Christ's sakes, they smashed the camera, and apparently we can't see anything after that. So that's like crazy to me that her mother didn't have better security on a house that has a casino on it. I mean, a property with a casino on it, where you could. Savannah lives here, your mother lives there. I mean, she's still by herself. I know old people like to be by themselves, and I get it. It's a great place to live, but like, look what happened. This is horrible.
I agree. I agree. Well, see, that's why I wondered too if Annie and Tommaso were kind of like regular caregivers with Nancy, because they're closest. They're there. Savannah's always working. She's always in New York doing this, doing that, so on and so forth. And they don't have. That's a good point too, Tomboy. And so these two, being that they're closest, are probably doing most of the caretaking of Nancy when she needs help with things and so on and so forth. you know, the statement was made that the dinner thing and game night thing is a regular thing they do. That gives me that feeling. So that's why I put that in the perspective with the situation. I mean,
And you know, the Dago, one of the things that they haven't told us any information about is, the last I heard is they were going to be looking into caretakers that went into her home to help take care of her, land, you know, anyone who took care of the landscaping or just anybody that was on that property. And we haven't gotten any information about that I have heard.
Nothing I've heard either. I've looked. Mikey brought something up about like people that take care of the pool or a gardener or landscaping person or the people that did the roof or whatever it is. I haven't heard of anybody being talked about or looked into that has anything to do with any. I'm sure there's somebody that goes over there and takes care of like property. You know, she can't do it, and maybe even checks on her daily, like a nurse or something, or an aide or somebody that checks in on her every day.
Yeah, and they might not have done it, but they might have orchestrated it. They're in that house. They know things. They know she's Savannah's daughter. They know what the security setup is like. So.
Right. No, it makes perfect sense.
Has got me. Yeah.
Some electrical work done recently too. Some electrical permit and stuff.
The roof was recently redone. There was some kind of electrical thing done, I heard. And again, regular daily landscaping or weekly or whatever it is, that's handled. There's a pool in the back, so I'm sure somebody takes care of that, so on and so forth. All of it. So I don't know.
It's just so dark there at nighttime. I just can't imagine this. I would be scared to death, and let alone. But then, like, imagine what this poor woman had to go through in the last. You know what I mean? Like, you nobody's going to hear you, and she had no way to like get help, and like, you know, maybe somehow these people were able to get in without breaking and entering. I don't know. Like, there was no forced entry or something. So it's like, how did this even happen?
That's a great point. Like, how did it get to this point? Right. No, I understand completely. Fully agree with you.
Maybe they dropped her off and then he unhooked the cameras and went back later on, and that's why like she was there until 2 something, and then like maybe because the cameras were still hooked.
Well, some of the weird things that have gone on with this, and again, I wanted your guys' opinions on those two. When they were looking in the septic system, that's kind of odd.
Weird.
They went back and forth to Annie and Tomas's house. 3 times?
Mm-hmm.
And they were back at Nancy's house a couple of times. It makes me wonder, are they getting communication from the kidnappers telling them to go do these things?
I think so, or maybe confirming things that they put in their letters. Like,
not a bad idea. That's not a bad thought.
Yeah, that 100%. That makes sense too, and it's just one more thing to think about. For sure. Like I said, I'm going to play this one more time. We can analyze it a little bit better. If you want me to slow it down, anything you guys want, let me know and I'll do it. That definitely for sure.
She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Oh, an hour of desperation.
Hi there, everybody.
Yeah, like they're coming close to the time period for the deadline on this. And my understanding is that today's deadline is so much more consequential than the other was. Meaning, if something doesn't happen today from their side of things, that something bad may happen. That's kind of how I took that. You know what I mean?
They must have sent the money then.
Or like, what's the point? Like,
I mean, I would think that they would. Be careful, Tomboy. I mean, I would, unless they're being told not to. Like I'm telling you to stop calling me, but you're not doing it. Yeah, unless they're told, and I could see them being told not to because of something that the FBI is doing, but at the same time, it's rightfully their choice to do what they want.
But she's talking to the public. She's not talking to the kidnappers.
Right.
She's talking to the public and asking for help. And a long time ago, the first time we listened to this, someone in the chat said, well, they haven't given us enough information.
Right. Yeah. Which they truly haven't. And they're not going to because it's an investigation. They've probably given us more than they would give anybody in a normal situation already.
I mean, like they saw there's cameras at these gas stations to prove whether they were really she was taken home by them at night. Like, did we find out if they really were, did they really drive her? Did they drive her home? Like, who really found out that she wasn't at church? Because apparently she didn't go to church. So what do we know what she, now I feel like maybe they had, they were waiting for proof of life and they're not going to send the money without it. And they don't want to risk it. What do the kidnappers do once the time's up? Then what do you do? And then you're not going to get your money. I don't know. I just feel like this is such not a bright idea for anybody to really try to pull off. But let's just hope that they are pretty stupid and thought they could get away with it. And the FBI is closing in. It's the only thing I could think of is if these people just really didn't know what they were doing and thought that this was a way that they could get money and not get caught. And the FBI has found where they're hiding this poor woman or at least something like that, and they can catch her because this fiend's desperate right now. I feel so I can't imagine the way they feel right now, not knowing what to do leading up to the hour. Do we send them?
Not, right.
And then not knowing what's happening to your mother. Oh my God.
That's probably the hardest part for her or for them.
I mean, it's all going to be depending on whether they have proof of life. If there's proof of life, I mean, for your own psyche, you pay just so you can say that you can at least justify to yourself that I accepted the terms and conditions. And whereas if you don't and they find her, then you're living with that regret for the rest of your life. I mean, Lana was making that point in her live a couple days ago.
Well, the thing that gets me is for instance, I saw it in a chat too, and I meant to mention that earlier. The septic systems and stuff and all that stuff that was checked, that should have been done day one. All of that property should have been checked thoroughly and full, every bit of it day one. And that's kind of odd to me. So that makes me wonder what else within the investigation is not being done correctly or was not. We know that the sheriff caused a ruckus. What else has been botched within this? And is there something else that should have happened a long time ago and it didn't? And that's causing problems now. And that's why we have multiple messages and things, it makes you wonder. So
I heard one of the former law enforcement officers from that area saying they would have treated the sister's house and Nancy's house as crime scenes.
Sure. Yeah. Like Dylan said earlier, this should not be being treated like an abduction. It should be being treated as a murder case because it very well could turn into one if it already hasn't, right? Within an instant. Plus, we saw blood. So in turn, I think that, and one would agreed, that should be how it's treated, period.
I wonder if by now they've gotten back a lot more testing, technology, information or tracking people, geofencing. I wonder if that's going to start to produce some traction if this doesn't pan out. Because you've got to think how many people, if it's not that an area that's not that populated, how many people are out that late at night? How do you get a woman out of her house that late at night? Not just say where she lives, but those roads where the gas stations are, the Circle K's. How many people really are out that late? There's got to be somewhere where you see a phone number is hooked to this license plate that was here. I don't know. I just feel
I know what you mean. Yeah.
From my understanding, anything that happens late at night on that road is instantly flagged as suspicious.
Yeah, because nothing happens there, and it's the other thing is it's really stupid dark there too.
There were reports that a neighbor said they saw a strange man walking around in that area days before.
Yep.
Is that the lady that was saying that was like solar panels, selling solar panels or something? Because those people tend to think that those kind of salesmen are casing their houses. When I feel like that's. I mean, you see, you would. I don't know. I don't know. The one lady was like, "Well, yeah, they're casing houses around here," but and she said it was like, you know, they sell those solar panels and stuff, and it's like, lady, come on, like.
Right.
They saw a strange man walking around. I mean,
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
I guess the neighborhood is typically very quiet. It's not that well trafficked by, odd people and things like that. So
trail cams would be nice if they had like some trail cams, because you can't see where they would put like street lights or anything. But then, like, you know how there's cactuses, if they had trail cams, they would be able to hear people better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't see from a ring cam. You can't see the street, they said, so it'll be pointless to even ask them for ring cam footage.
No, agreed, especially at night. So
I mean, at minimum on day one, you're at least canvassing, going to the neighbors. Hey, what'd you see? Did you hear anything? This, that, and there was none of that. There was none of it. It was something happened here. Oh, game's on. Gotta go. Like.
I got you.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I know, Lucy. I know. It's crazy. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It ever happened.
Let's hear the rest of this again.
I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt, because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help.
It sounds like, what if they have paid already and
now they're being
they're
ignored?
not telling her where her mom is?
That
just hit me.
No, good catch. Because it kind of does sound like, okay, we did what they said. And that's the thing, is they said, we're paying. We will pay, so on and so forth. And now they're not getting anything from it. So that does kind of sound that way a little bit.
And the reason I changed my thinking on this is because someone in the chat said they're always speaking to the kidnappers, because I said she's speaking to like the public. So then I looked at it that way and I'm like, okay, what is she saying to the kidnappers here? And she's saying, we need your help. Law enforcement's trying very hard. What were some of the other key things she said? But that can all be applied to that situation. Like,
of course.
It's now on us to go find her, and you haven't given us you haven't told us where she's at.
And that's why we need your help statement. That makes sense. Yeah. Good catch, Kim. Good catch.
Maybe they changed the wallet, the name. Maybe they changed the wallet that would go to, like, maybe the one that they had originally. Can they do that? Like, is there a way to, like, maybe they reached out to them privately and said, no, deposit into this person. So I don't know how this stuff works, but like, they say, well, it's empty. Maybe they said, because this one's been, I don't know. Like, is there a way that we would not know that they were paid? Maybe, I don't know. She just seems more defeated this time to me.
I mean, yeah, but she also has makeup on this time. And she looks a little more like vibrant than she did with the last one. Just saying. That's a good catch though, Kim. I like that.
Yeah. I can't even.
So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, If you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Also saying even if you're far from Tucson, do they think it's far away?
They have no idea. Think about it. They probably have no, if they don't know, like if they're just depending on maybe like a ransom, they probably have no other idea. Like what could be going on? It's just such a, who knows? This is weird. Just sad. Because what if it was just a random act where like they thought they could rob this house? They thought it was a house that was maybe nobody was home, or it was a house that they could rob in the middle of the night. You know, these cameras aren't hooked up at all. We could just like, and then whatever was there accidentally hurt her too, and they had to like. What is in a septic tank though? By the way, how would you deposit somebody into a septic tank through that hole that they were in? Is that how they would put her in there? Like when you check a septic tank, what are you looking for?
Most of the septic tanks I've ever seen, like in our area, if they're above ground, it's like a big long metal tube thing. And then I'm imagining if it's underground, it's the same thing. But that one looked
There's a man. Yeah, there's a man cover over it. You could go down through the hole.
So like they could like say, as I'm saying, like what if they stole something out of the house, and then I thought maybe like they just hurt her and they put her down in there. That's why they were looking, because if they're waiting on a ransom thing and it's not really it, like
they would have found her like almost immediately in there. Now I think they were looking for something else in there, personally, in my opinion. But
yeah, like I just don't know how they work. I don't know really. I was like, what?
I don't know. That's wild though. But and then, like I said, you take that one. Hold on here.
I will say, I think this was way too planned for this to be a random act. Like it.
Yeah, by all means.
Like kind of like Krista was saying, if like it was a burglary gone wrong, then then what would be the point of going through all the hassle of taking a 84-year-old woman?
Yeah.
If this was a burglary gone wrong, this would have either just been an assault or worse.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
If they're there, like just if they're there, why even bother bringing her with you if you're there to?
Yeah, I agree with that, Witchy, and thank you for the super chat very much. So this was. Go ahead.
If the person living there was a bit more mobile and younger and was connected to somebody famous, then I could see a little bit of a pivot there. But to move someone like her would be way too complicated to just kind of do on a whim.
Yeah, I got you. Welcome back, 1-1. I got you. So this was the first statement they put out. Okay, and I'm going to show all three of these and see if you guys notice anything in these three together that makes it any difference to you guys.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of
Can you guys hear it? First off,
Yeah, we hear it.
Okay.
you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day. Despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief, we are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love
Okay, so that was the first one. 1 minute here. One minute.
A lot of people were saying like they're pretty much close enough to the border that they could find the medicine if they needed it.
Right.
Like at least that I wasn't that worried about. I figured they probably, if they knew her, they probably pre-planned for that. So, you know, but then why not just grab the medicine then too? If you were going to keep her alive, why wouldn't you just take her medicine with her?
I agree with that one. Yeah. 1 minute. Okay. Hang on.
This new video.
Good old brainless Bryanington.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
So a short video. To this new video.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Okay. 1 minute. And
I will add, in my opinion, Anne looks absolutely looks genuinely a bit distraught that she's trying to hide it.
that's what I was kind of wondering too. Some people do different things for different reasons. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. She looks genuinely distraught, but she's trying to hide it. She's trying to be stoic.
That's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah,
Just it could be.
Maybe.
I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that.
Now the difference with this one here and the last one was directed directly at the kidnappers. The first one was, I believe, as well. This one is not towards them; it's towards the public.
We have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt, because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Well, that's all three of their messages. So, any thoughts on anything, anybody?
It does seem a little odd with that third one.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems like she's having doubts about paying, unless she already has, and this isn't actually directed at the people, but back at the kidnapper, saying, "Hey, we need to know where she's at. Where is she? It's in there. Where is she?"
Well, and I kind of wonder if what Kim was saying a little bit ago, like they paid and they haven't heard anything yet, and they're reaching out like, hey, what's going on here? That's why they're asking for the public's help now, possibly because they did their thing, they've heard nothing, and now they need help possibly finding their mother, because they're not replying or responding. Maybe they're not responding anymore. And maybe that's what this last video was about, was to get them to start responding again or something. Like I said, you know what I mean?
Which I feel like that video wouldn't, if that was the case, this particular video wouldn't have came out until after the deadline.
Yeah.
Maybe they never got proof of life, and they're like, this one sounds more like a desperation to me. Like
we never heard anything about proof of life that I can think of, so I don't know that they did.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, would you send the money if you didn't get proof of life? Or I don't know. Like, or maybe they found that it wasn't credible enough or something.
Mark Garagos did a video where he thinks where he says they may have gotten proof of life, but we have no proof of that.
Right.
I mean, if you do have the financial ability to do this, you might have to just go on faith,
right?
Because they're not going to be able to touch the money without revealing themselves.
It's so weird to me that they would even ask for it.
So, at worst case scenario, you're going to know who it is. And in essentially where they are. And I get the VPNs, man. It may have a VPN, a bouncer, all that jazz. But those can be undone. It may be harder, but those can be undone.
Now, this, I forgot I had this. This was kind of interesting. I want your guys' thoughts on this too. This guy seems to think that he's the next police officer. I believe that he believes that they're going to find some kind of a relationship between the people that did this. And I'm curious.
There you go. Oh, Sherlock Holmes.
Morning to you. Help us decipher this new message, both the words that are used and the tone we heard from the Guthrie siblings.
Yeah, this is a major break here. Oh, when I say major break, remember there's two issues here. One is the return of the victim, and the family's willingness to pay. You know, if the purported amount of $6 million is accurate, that's a huge deal. I would say that since they are making this statement, that they have received information that would allow them to believe that their mom is alive. So that's the good news. Now, the bad news is that when $6 million ransom is paid, what does this do? This indicates to the world who is watching this that that this is an avenue that could be explored by other people to do similar things. And so this is the big spag here, that everybody wants Mrs. Guthrie to return home safely to her family. Now, this won't stop law enforcement from continuing their investigation and trying to bring these people to justice.
In the videos that we have seen so far from the Guthrie siblings, they have really seemed to appeal to the captor's conscience here. We've heard them in past videos using mom, mommy, of course, really trying to humanize Nancy Guthrie here. The latest video, though, it seemed to me, as somebody watching it, it seemed some defeat, if you will. It was more somber in tone. Do you think that something has changed behind the scenes as far as their messaging to the potential captors concerned?
Well, I think that they are working with the FBI and their behavioral sciences unit to craft that message. This isn't something that's just done off the cuff. This is being examined by the FBI and the law enforcement sources on the scene there, and trying to determine how best to couch their message back to the kidnappers. So this isn't done, simply, throwing a camera in front of the family. This is carefully rehearsed and understood by the family, that this is the verbiage that they should use with every intention to create some dialogue between them and the kidnappers that will be compassionate.
This is day 8 now of the search for Nancy Guthrie. There are reports that there is a possible vehicle of interest in this case, but as of right now, there are no suspects, there are no persons of interest. We don't expect any new press conferences with authorities today. What do you make of the case and where it stands now?
Well, you can see that law enforcement is really, really active here. They are leaving no stone unturned. The FBI is playing a much more critical role here than the local sheriff's department. They have really entered into the fray here with all of the resources at their disposal. They have amazing forensic abilities and technical abilities. There is an all hands on deck type of mentality here, where all law enforcement is working as diligently as they can to try and bring her back and to bring these individuals to justice.
We've seen a lot of video from our crews in Arizona the last couple of days. We're showing some of it. There were FBI agents on the roof of Nancy's home. Yesterday, they were back at the house again. They've spent several hours there again, blocking off the house. What are they looking for?
They are looking for any evidence forensically that they can find. As this investigation continues, they are getting leads and tips, hundreds of them, from not just the public who has, been asked to report anything that they could possibly be related to this. They are also examining every piece of video that they can from the area that the technological capabilities of digital data from the cell phone towers, and also from the messages that are being received. So there's a lot at play here. There's a lot going on.
They towed Tomasa's vehicle, but I think that was only because that was the last vehicle she was in before she went home, per se. That's my opinion on that one, Senor.
I do think we processed it though, to me, I heard someone talking about it. It sounded like they put it into evidence.
Well, they haven't cleared them yet. That's the weird thing. That's the odd part, is that he hasn't been cleared, from my understanding. And they took Nancy's vehicle too, I think, on a flatbed too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue vehicle that they took as well. So I don't know if this is just like protocol for something like this. But that's an interesting point, Kim. Like, they took their vehicle into evidence. They took hers into evidence. And I don't know if it's
probably his, because he's the last person to see her.
That's what I thought. But why would you take hers if she doesn't drive anymore?
No.
You know what I mean? That's like, what do you, unless she does. My understanding is that she has to get rides from people because she doesn't drive anymore. I don't know. It's odd. I'll say that. That's an odd thing. So good call for asking that question, bud.
And they are trying to do everything they can to corroborate this information that is being.
You're not muted, Krista. You were on your.
I keep typing and not realizing that I'm not mute myself first, and I keep seeing the chat like, who's tapping on the keyboard?
No, that was you. Yeah, I got you. You're all right.
Related to the family about the safety of their mom, and also at the same time try and put evidence together that can lead to the arrest of the individuals who committed this disgusting crime. And so they're working every angle here.
And unfortunately, none of this is a quick process. Randy, quickly here, what do you think?
Thank you, Hottie.
I think they're going to find some relationship took place between the victim and whoever is responsible for this.
There it is.
Crime. I think that this didn't happen in a vacuum. That there will be, I believe that there will be an arrest eventually in this case, and the world is watching. So there's a lot of pressure on law enforcement here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and down.
God, I hate when he does that at the end of every one of them. I mean, anyway. So I think we got, 2.5 hours roughly for the deadline.
Yep.
Don't pacemakers don't record also at like the doctor's office or like a place where like they make pacemakers?
They go to the doctor's office usually, yeah. But that
like they can't see if hers is still active.
No, it detached from.
It needs a connector. It needs an app or some device that can send it.
Her phone being left there detached her from being able to send anything.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got to be within 20 feet of her.
So like it's just her cell phone, like they can't even like I guess like right.
So
like,
from my understanding, I don't know if I read it wrong, but it appears her pacemaker wasn't working. I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but if it was working, it should be able to send some sort of signal.
That's what I would think. Like, there's no way to find out if it's still.
I mean, they may be able to do something like that from their end of things, but I don't know.
Like, you think they would have did it by now? We would have known, but I mean, because that would tell you of life right there if they could figure that out.
There's been multiple people in here that think that Bruce Rivers, he's an attorney, he does his own show. He thinks that somebody they know, that gentleman that we just heard said he believes there may end up being some kind of a relationship. I've kind of thought that too from the beginning, that it had to be somebody that kind of knows of them somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody that works for them or works for Nancy possibly, or whatever. But I wondered, like I said in the beginning, if there was from this the sister and the brother-in-law, I wondered if that was a possibility from the beginning, but not so much as I did in the very beginning. Do I now? But I don't know. We could all be wrong. Who knows?
It's just weird.
It is very odd. The whole thing is very odd. I definitely feel, though, at the very least, that it is the basis of it relates to Savannah. That's always been my opinion. Period.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it seems more personal towards her. Do you know what I mean? It just makes sense to me that way.
Yeah.
Going back to the pacemaker, my understanding was that it's disconnected from her device, so there's no way to see it working, but that doesn't mean it stopped working.
Right.
But while it's disconnected, it's still tracking all the data inside of her, and then once it were to reconnect to the app, then they could get all that. So if they find her, either way, they're going to be able to get all that data. So they should be able to, if she's not with us anymore, to determine that exact time. You would think
when they find her, like to connect it. Her last heartbeat was at this date in the middle of last week or something. Gotcha.
Yeah. And they're saying this has definitely been well planned. That's not just anybody doing it either. You would have to have some kind of intelligence, in my opinion, to pull something like this off, and for it to be very well planned.
It's crazy.
The amount of kidnappings by somebody who the victim knows is astronomically high.
But what ransoms though too though.
So, but I do think that there is a chance that with this case that it could be people who are somewhat strangers. I wouldn't say friends, but somebody who's close enough to know the
acquaintances and such. Yeah.
Who would know it, like if this is truly about the money, which again I don't think it is, would know the health issues that Nancy has, and would be able to accommodate and be able to be good
without
on the trade
without harming her. Yeah.
Now,
hopefully,
but with this, I'm gonna assume it's about the fame and money is just the cover. This could be a complete and total stranger. So
yeah,
and I'm gonna assume it's like I said, I'm assuming it's about fame and it's the notoriety. So I would actually lean more towards this being a complete stranger. And unfortunately, I don't think Nancy's no longer with us.
And like make some kind of statement at the end, like a political statement, not caring if they get caught. Like, I did this to make the whole world watch me, and because of this reason, and it worked or something. I don't know. Like, that's only because what else would be
like a Luigi Mangione type situation where
maybe I'm
gonna get caught. It is what it is. But
that was a social experiment we lost, didn't we?
Now they're also saying there was another FBI agent that they talked to with News Nation that said that she believes that they seem to be reluctant to communicate with the family. They're just only doing it when they have to, so on and so forth. Now I don't know if I see it that way, but
coffin dropper, as Harsh would put it. She thinks it's an inside job.
Well, I mean, no comment, but
she agrees with Dago's favorite.
Yeah, I'm confused because normally she's an idiot. So I'm not fond of her at all.
I think for ransom, that you're like, if you don't know the lady, you're taking an awful big chance on not knowing her health issues. So, like, if you're trying to keep somebody alive for ransom, you're gonna want to at least know that. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of health issues. It's just her heart, and her heart. I mean, I think that's not that much for an 84-year-old woman, but just like not being able to walk, and then you risk her having a heart attack from the shock of it all.
But that's the thing.
That could have been part of the 41-minute period of time they were in the house to trying to figure out the health issues and how they were going to pull this off that way.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think the kidnappers particularly care if she's alive or not, as long as she's not found.
Right.
Because it's not it. Because again, it's not about the money. It's about the notoriety. And to keep the story going, she's got to stay missing. And she can be missing dead.
That's true too. Thank you, Ro. Very true.
Yeah, like how could they actually think that they could get away with this money, taking this money out and never getting caught? What's the point of it just sitting there? Like,
believe it or not, I mean, you could ask one this. I'm sure he knows. Like,
I was going to ask him
criminals. Most criminals think they can whatever they're going to do, that they're going to get away with it. Period. That's why they do it.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe they did actually think that they could get away with it, but then realized, oh crap, now what? We really actually can't get away with this.
And another part of this too, guys, is I don't know any like other family members. We don't know the rest of their family at all. Like we have no idea who they are,
right?
What they're about, who, if there is any, any of that. So that's one more part of this that we just don't have any answers to. So
yeah,
I don't know of any kidnapping situations that ever end well. Like that's why the FBI and everybody I think they say don't pay, right? Like because you pay and then you never get your loved one back.
They don't. That's why they don't. Yeah, right. They're not. Most places aren't fond of like rewards and stuff for those reasons too. Yeah, I've heard. So
wait, you're telling me Lifetime has been lying to me?
Yes, that's what's happening, buddy. That's it. I'm sorry for the big blow up there, buddy. But yeah. So, I mean, any last words from all you guys on this before we get out of here for the day? I think I've had you guys here long enough.
I think Chloe Albert is out in the desert as Clara Albert, and I think that Chloe or Murphy did it. I think they're out there in the witness protection because that's where you go when witness protection. You're always out in the desert. We don't know where they're at. We know they're in witness protection somewhere. We just start blaming because prove that they didn't do it.
Skull.
Thank you, Krista. Kim, what are your thoughts?
Well, I guess I'll leave us with a question because not catching a car on camera is bothering me. And even like I keep hearing that it's dark out there at night. Like, are they not allowed to have streetlights? Why don't they have streetlights?
Right.
They're not. Noise pollution. They have a noise pollution ordinance. That's the craziest thing.
But that's light, not noise.
Oh, I'm sorry, not light pollution. Light pollution. I meant to say light pollution. Yes.
Are you serious? Like,
no,
I think
that's why the sheriff didn't put up the helicopters with the searchlights because he was afraid of the light pollution the first night.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy to me because I keep thinking that other houses have to have cameras. They have to have cameras, and
that's wild. That is wild. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go look. I haven't looked at how pitch black it is out there at night. I know there's
dark. It's dark.
What the hell is light pollution?
That's crazy. I was wondering if it's because of the ecosystem there, like with the wildlife and stuff like that. Like they wouldn't want to mess with it. I don't know.
So people come out there to look at the stars and stuff above the mountains, and they want it to be as least, they want to be able to see as clear as possible. That's from what I understand. So
I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about Orion's belt. I want to be able to see where the hell I'm going at night.
Exactly. And safety. Hello. I bet, things like this change laws. So this might change that.
That's right. Bingo. I was just getting ready to say that, Kim. Like after this happening, it makes you wonder, are they going to do some, like we need more lights and security and things like that in this neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a good point. I did receive the PayPal that was sent. Thank you so very much. God bless you. So very generous. And we appreciate you more than you know. So thank you for that. And anybody else that supported our channel in those ways whatsoever, God bless. Very much appreciated. 1-1, any thoughts, my friend? if you're here, it might be he's working, so he might not be here. All right, then, Dylan.
Well, I'll just leave it with this. I think there's no way in hell that this is about the money. This is all about the fame. This is all about the notoriety. This isn't about the money. That it seems fairly clear and obvious on that. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that Lifetime movie ending.
I got you, and I hope you're wrong, but I have a bad feeling you might be right too, buddy.
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yes. Will do, Scully. Thank you, brother. I agree with you, bud. I have a bad feeling in my gut with this as well, but I hope we're all wrong on that part of it for sure. I'm gonna leave with saying that I kind of feel like I kind of agree with Dylan with the money aspect of this. I'm wondering if it's the last thing. I do still think it's around Savannah, period.
Yes.
But I think the money is the last thing on my mind as far as reasoning for this. And I want to thank 1-1 for joining us. Dylan, of course, Miss Krista from Reality with Krista Marie. Miss Kim from Typically Unique. Thank you as well for joining us. By the way, great show. And make sure you guys subscribe to all these awesome creators. Dylan Hildreth has a channel out there called Hildreth Investigates. Miss Kim's channel is Typically Unique, we all know. And, of course, Miss Krista has Reality with Krista Marie. So we can put all those links in here real quick, guys. Please make sure you're subscribed. And thank you to all of you. Amazing panel today. And all we can do, in my opinion, guys, is to pray for the family. Keep them in our thoughts and pray for nothing but positive things to come. Hopefully, I should see all you guys tonight over there with Devil's Advocates. It is Monday night. We should be back and running over there. I'm looking forward to that as always. And other than that, again, panel, thank you guys so very much. You guys are all amazing. Make sure you guys subscribe. And Miss Potts is in the house. Good to see you, Miss Annie. Thank you for being here. There's Dylan's link, guys.
Thanks for having me up, Diego. And hopefully you'll have some information when you guys are on.
Yes.
Later.
Hopefully we will get some kind of info for this. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe this deadline will hit, something good will happen, and we'll get to see a alive, happy, and healthy version of Miss Nancy Guthrie with her family, and something good will come from this, guys. That's my biggest hope and prayer for this one. So, everybody in chat, guys, make sure to love yourselves, love each other, don't change a thing.
Bye.
And I'll see you guys very soon, guys. Bye-bye.
The coffee's cold, the final stain. We laid the map out in the pouring rain. No hidden corners left to creep. The dark truth woke while the city was asleep. The evidence lines up straight and true. A perfect picture of what they chose to do. The quiet street erupts in flashing light. A reckoning delivered in the night. SWAT serves the warrant. till